I have replaced the meme, by the way.
With the kate stare.
Yes.
I
I also stretched it a
yeah,
little bit.
it's funny when it's stretched.
You see, it used to be loud equals funny, and now it's stretched equals funny. Remember when we all thought deep fried memes were funny? You
The
know,
what?
deep fried memes.
Oh,
Why do you sound? What happened to your voice?
He sounds the
me?
same.
Oh, okay.
Don't buy into it this time. This time you're actually good.
That would have been kind of funny though. Anyway, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, well
What do you mean no? What are you doing?
Now we wait.
What
Playing
could you
Sonic,
possibly do?
playing Sonic Adventure.
Don't play Sonic Adventure. Play good games.
Punch. Punch Inferno.
Play
Delete
good
Romania
games.
off map.
Not Sekimeiya. Sekimeiya sucks.
Why?
I hate Sekimeiya.
I think they should nerf the Sekimeiya.
Yeah,
I
nerf
think
its
they should
AoE.
replace Kate with a giant chicken.
But
Seven.
then,
I've learned of an insane strategy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
To get 8 bazillion views on Twitch for free, okay?
Okay.
With one simple trick. You know how there's like not community tags, there's like tags that we added, like real Kamoshida cut or whatever
Mm-hmm.
stupid thing we did? Just add a VTuber there, trust me.
You know what? I'm gonna do it. I mean, we're technically VTubers, right? Look at us.
Yeah?
I mean, sure, it's very low budget, but you know, you gotta work with what you have, right? It's called poverty. Come on, Romanian engineering VTuber.
Nah. Oh me, what did look the Turkish engineers? They've done a lot of stuff. What did the Romanian engineers ever do, huh? Huh?
Uh,
Name one thing you did, Inferno, as an engineer.
I'm not an engineer.
well, we are. You suck. I
Yep.
played engineer TF2 for 60 hours. You can check my stats.
I probably played Scout and then Spy the most.
I
I
played
have never
Spy and
played.
Demo Man.
I have never played TF2 in my life.
That's good. If you played TF2 right now, you would probably transition, unironically. That is how it works. Okay, let's see here. Stream manager. Let's go to the settings over here.
It's actually a really hard trick. What the hell?
What trick?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Why? As if I'm going to ever be able to make proper use of a Sonic Adventure DX trick. Oh no! Trick to make Sonic jump 5 times as high.
Then I added VTuber as a tag.
That's insane. Now we're gonna get so much money.
Oh god, we're gonna be rich! Send the bits. Thank you for the 500
Yep.
bits, kind stranger.
Thank you for the $5.
Thank you for the $5. I can finally pay rent this month.
Wow, somebody pinged me on Discord. Hold on.
Oh god.
I mean,
Okay,
I mean
check your
$5.
messages and then we'll begin.
I mean, $5 is probably like a lot in Turkey.
Yeah.
Dude, I literally heard the Sonic coin noise from your microphone just a second ago.
I'm
This
not
is so
gay,
sad.
but like $5 is $5, bro.
How are you guys doing, my unsupervised minors?
Oh god, it's Masato, run away.
Sasato.
Masato.
Susato?
Sasato? How does the stream have exactly one weaver? I don't think this is normal.
I don't
What if
think.
there's
I
no?
don't
What
think. I don't think you're normal.
This is
what if
so
it's
sad.
just like one guy that has been tuning into every stream who just really loves us? He's like, he just looks into it and is like, oh, these guys are finally online again. Oh, these what a banger joke.
Notification squad aware. If such a person were to truly exist, I'm just gonna tell you guys now. I think it's more sensible.
I think you guys
something
should
more worth
kiss.
your time.
I think you guys should kiss. That's what you guys should do.
Yeah, I think so. If,
Me and my favorite
if you're
follower.
actually
Not saying
there
who it
and
is
I'm not
though.
a schizophrenic person, can you please send me a kiss? Thank you. I will send one
Me,
back.
me and my favorite follower. Not saying who it is though. I posted that on Hoyle Lab once.
Ew.
Now
Oh
listen, I
my
am a
gosh.
famous celebrity, okay?
Mom,
No,
you don't
you're not.
Yeah,
understand.
I am.
I'm not unemployed. I'm a niche internet micro celebrity, Mom. Zen?
They banned me. They banned. No, they didn't ban me, but they removed like There was the you guys know the recent Trump picture?
Oh, the mugshot?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was like a Genshin edit with that, and I thought that was really funny, so I posted it. But then they removed it within like 2 minutes of me posting it. They were like on standby.
Bros were waiting for his next move. Like just like one Hoyo Lab like fucking worker
Yeah,
who
there's
like
one
hates
guy.
you so much. He's like waiting for you to post something that like you could get banned for. He's like on his computer, like bro is praying for your downfall.
I have
Jeez.
haters, bro. I won't let the haters get to me.
So true, King. I mean, haters are funny though. I think there needs to be some haters in your life. Just saying, they make it more fun.
If we're gonna stop playing Sonic Adventure DX,
Why?
so that we can play the Sekimeiya.
What
Stop
if I don't
playing
want
a
to play this
bad game so we can
Sekimeiya?
play a bad game together.
Oh my god, Sonic, shut up.
Sonic wouldn't like you saying that.
It is quite sad that you would say something like that, Inferno.
What is that Titan range?
You stop playing a game.
Yeah, 'cause I'm waiting for your ass.
Oh
I'm also
god.
waiting.
You know
I'm
what?
also waiting for you.
Alrighty then, chat. We're doing a TF2 stream now. I'm gonna launch up the game.
I am okay. I quit playing Attack on Titan. Come here.
Okay, I'm not quitting playing Sonic Adventure.
That's it. I'm launching it again.
Base.
I literally died, so it didn't even make a difference.
This is so sad. Today we're gonna play some Ninja Near.
It's been 40 minutes.
No, it's not.
No, it's been. No,
Yeah,
it's
it
not.
did.
Somebody said a security guard did nothing wrong. Hello, thank you for tuning into the stream. High taxes.
Finally, someone gets me.
Someone gets
Okay,
you,
fine.
right? Say hello to
No.
high taxes, everybody. Inferno, stop playing
Nah.
Sonic Adventure and come over here.
I literally stopped.
Okay,
Nah,
good.
bro,
I'm
all my
loading into the
homies-
game. You are the one who's reading first. I don't care.
No,
I
7
al-
go.
I
This
always
is so
read-
sad.
I always read first, though.
No,
Yeah,
but it's
true.
no. 7 go.
No, he needs to be punished for playing Sonic Adventure. He has 700 hours on it. Somebody's gotta, like, fucking...
That's artificial. It's not real.
Okay,
Bro,
whatever.
listen,
It's still an
bro,
insult, though.
Bro, listen, 300 more hours and you gotta buy me a pizza.
True, true. We can have that bet. Alright, I'm reading.
I wonder. I feel like Sekimeiya as a game would be better if they had the like if Adachi, whose their song was playing during the game.
True, true.
Like every time something mysterious happens, you hear it.
Sekimeiya would be better if it had gay sex in it. Anyway. Take a shot every time they have to search the entire building. So true. How many times it has been so far?
I don't know.
Like
Yeah,
5?
this times.
Anyway, I'm gonna read this part now. We have to begin, dude. We have to start playing the fucking video game.
What if we don't?
It's been 9 minutes since I started. Everyone, let's start for realsies this time. We've been moving through hallway B for a few minutes, so it seemed appropriate to begin there. It was like unlikely anyone had been near us, but we weren't going to lose much time by making sure to glance at every room. The start was the 2 bathrooms, and aside from Naomi's body, they were empty. Then, in a rapid manner, we began to open every door to see if anything we could easily spot was around.
What is this?
The Sekimeiya cabinet, as expected, was empty. The original Naomi was partially under a curtain after I'd grabbed her key, so I covered her properly again. The last crystal rooms were as they'd been from the start. Okay, Zen, read. It's your turn. I'm gonna move
Why
on
are
now.
you so
I'm so
like
eager to not read. I hate reading.
to go to the opposite hallway? We went to the lobby, knowing that the mechanical room was also on our way.
Oh, High Taxes says, uh-oh. Should I be concerned?
Nah, but the Kate side kissing scene is coming up. That's why he's so hyped.
True.
Unexpectedly, our search came to an abrupt stop when we stepped into the large hall.
Oh, they say this might be farther ahead than where I am at. Okay, High Taxes, I have a better solution to this then. I don't think you should be watching this stream.
This is so sad.
This
You're
It's okay.
you're
It's okay. I made a playlist of all the streams. It's fine.
bro. You're chasing away a potential longtime
True.
viewer.
Come on, I don't want to be an asshole.
Hold on.
Well, but how are we gonna be celebrities then, Seven? Huh?
It's okay. I'll bring my Hoyo Lab viewers over. I'll
True.
Hoyo Lab every time we're streaming, guys. Watch the Sekimeiya stream.
Oh god, bro left. This is so sad.
Seven, this is your fault.
It is my fault. I acknowledge this. High Tex is my man. This is so sad. Anyway, Zen, read please.
I already did.
You did.
People were next to the metallic shutter. We recognized them immediately. Erina, Akuro, and Kate were kneeling down to the next to the wall, while Sai looked at them from above.
Kate, my man.
As soon as we opened the door, their heads lifted to meet our gazes. After a couple of quiet seconds, Kate was the first to further acknowledge our presence and stood up from the floor. He began walking toward us, and we did the same until we met in the middle of the room. Here comes the stair. Here it is. Here it is.
I just can't take to stare at you.
It's always so funny when she's on screen. Where were you? What the hell happened earlier?
Bro got spoiled about Nami's death, by the way.
While the conversation started, we walked to the others who had kept silent. Strangely, they were looking down again, wearing unsettling expressions.
You mean when Snai sneaked away? Right. We disappeared. The Sekimeiya made us go to the past again. And this time, we appeared in the attic.
Oh, I see. After a strangely short response, we went over to the shutter. Something might have happened as everyone else appeared quiet and responsive. Wonder why they decided to stay there too.
Did he search for us at all?
Because that wasn't a question directed at anyone in particular, so I decided to speak.
You were in the attic, you were in the attic, you said? Why didn't you come down sooner? We fell asleep and lost track of time. Did something happen? Where's Isla?
Oh no.
Oh no. I asked that instinctively, but I hadn't consciously realized that Isla wasn't with them. Seven, read, white boy, read.
Oh god. Erna, who I'd imagined would quickly answer, remained looking down at her lap. Hiding her face from us, strained, filled my body, as that mere action made me imagine something very bad could have happened. None of the others decided to respond either, and instead shut their eyes before lowering their heads. Finally, I noticed that their expressions were tinged with sorrow. They understood that their own reactions had started to fill us in. After a few unsettling seconds, Sai began speaking in a faint voice, uncharacteristic of the way he'd come across any other time. Shroya and I, along with the others who lay against the wall, listened to the words that he narrated what had taken place while we'd been sleeping the 6 floors above. How did they lose the little girl? I have no clue.
What symbol is that? Is that the Omega symbol?
It's fucking
I
Virgil! They put Virgil in the game!
Finally, yeah. Halfway through this game, the screen slashes with a katana cut. It just breaks into pieces of glass, and then Virgil shows up. He's like, you.
I need more power. Steals the Sekimeiya.
I came here to steal the second man.
He's gonna gain strength by listening to Kate fucking monologuing for like 20 hours. It gives him more
Gross.
patience. It's like meditation.
Okay, no, who's that though? I guess that's.
it would be you because this is still narration.
Yeah, but you know what? Sure, we'll go with it. At the same time that Shuei and Atsuki disappeared from the cleaning room, Erina and Ayla, who were in the opposite hallway, saw Sai appearing from hallway C.
Also, yeah, welcome back, High Texas.
As soon as they made eye contact, Sai's body visibly relaxed, as if he'd changed personalities in an instant. He began slowly walking toward the two girls next to the event room, who hadn't said anything yet. Without a care in the world, he was the first to ask a question.
What's going on? Where did the others go?
What? They went to find you since you disappeared all of a sudden. Why did you do that?
Naturally, everyone didn't know how to react, given the others had made it seem essential to guard hallway A in case I went there before they could get him.
What do you mean? We were gonna start searching for the Sekimeiya, so I just went ahead first.
What? Why didn't you tell us then? Didn't you go to hallway B?
Yes, but I headed over here since it's a better place to start with. I was gonna tell you two to come, but you were looking at me weird, so I wasn't sure if anything had happened.
7.
Those weren't very convincing words, but Erna didn't question him further, mostly because Sai's own question cut in. Where are the others? Peeking inside the event room with a frown, Sai noticed the lack of other people.
They went behind you, didn't I say it? They're in hallway B.
The door to the opposite hallway was open, and Akro could be seen with his own frown, evidently ignoring the sound of their conversation.
Sai said Akro's name out loud, and a few seconds later his head finally turned to face them. Upon asking him what had caused the strange face of his, he let them know that the Shiroya and Atsuki had not yet left the cleaning room. Sai, showing the strangest reaction, approached the room while letting out a conspicuous thinking sound. He opened the door and stayed still for some time. Then he entered the small space, before the others had time to wonder what he was doing. He exited and told them that it was empty.
The S in Sai stands for Sholmes.
Akaro, what?
Your mom.
More like, wait, is there a character with H in their name? Oh, Shiroya! Bro, S.H. Sherlock, literally him.
Literally.
Akaro, who had a hard time believing it, stepped forward and became aware of the glaring contradiction within the
Wait,
room.
that's not his name, it's Herlock. You're wrong.
Yeah, man,
wrong.
yeah,
Who the
man,
fuck
gotta
is
avoid that.
Sherlock?
Gotta avoid that copyright.
True, true.
Didn't the copyright end this year?
I guess they could
I'm not
update the game
sure.
if they wanted, but I think it's a funny meme that I think they should keep it.
Read.
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Seeing his dumbfounded face, Erina and Ayla got closer too. The four of them saw that not only had Shiroya and Atsuki vanished from the room, but that the cleaning cart had too.
A disappearing car was nothing compared to everything that had already happened. Once the other three stepped in, they became aware of the cause. The second man sat inside wearing the buckets that had remained on the floor of the little room. It was I who first questioned its status, as someone contradicted a few things they concluded earlier. It was white instead of the gray color they thought it'd become after having teleported two people in the whole cleaning cart. Not much discussion was had. Up until then, they'd grown accustomed to Kate's voice immediately instructing them not to put the second back in its cupboard. It was the lack of those words that alerted them that Kate wasn't there. What?
Huh? Where's Kate?
What?
He followed you to hallway C.
Me? Then why didn't he come to the event room when we were in hallway A?
Someone read.
Doubtful looks were the only answer. Sai, Ern, and Dyla had spent a few seconds talking next to its door. Of course, Kate should have been seen. Got
Well, really, one line.
him.
Taking advantage of Kate's absence, they removed their full focus from the Sekimeiya and left it where they'd found it, prioritizing finding him. All of them assumed that attempting to find Shiroya and Atsuki was futile, as they'd most likely teleported through time and were somewhere else entirely. Sai was the first to suggest going to see where had Kate gone, which shouldn't have taken a long time. With Akro in the front and Sai in the back, the four left the room and saw the empty hallway C. The stairs presented the possibility of Kate having gone upward, but hallway A was the most likely option.
Shiroya and Atsuki should still be here, even if they traveled back in time. It could be that Kate took advantage of the situation and to do something.
Sai called out Kate's name, while Akro viewed the entire situation with suspicion. As he'd seen Sai in front of the cleaning room, where the Sekimeiya had turned out to be. He asked Sai why he disappeared earlier, which was answered the same way he'd justified his actions to Erina.
They stopped in front of the stairs, and Sai sighed as soon as he saw the other long, empty hallway.
You all rushed too quickly to find me when I was only trying to move things along, and now this happened. We found the Sekimeiya already, at least, but now we have to search for 3 people, which is just great.
I'm sorry. So I began directing the others. With Atsuki and Kate gone, his demands met no resistance. His arrangement consisted of Eren and Isla staying next to the stairs and Nakara checking hallway B, while he himself looked through hallway A room. That way, the search wouldn't take more than 2 minutes. As they put that into practice, I continued yelling out Kate's name. He wasn't being drawn to the noise, I followed that he wasn't nearby. Drawing a zigzag pattern, Akira and Sai went in the lobby after looking through every room in their respective hallways. In the meantime, Isla observed next to her mother. Observed. Despite her initial optimism, she was aware of what the situation had become. Sai put an end to the search by deeming the mechanical room empty.
They walked back to the starting point, where Erna and Isla waited. Once the 4 of them knew that they were the only people on that floor, they wondered where Kate had gone off to. With a freeway to the other floors, he could have been anywhere. And even though they'd quickly escaped that Shiroya and Atsuki had once again traveled through time, they should have shown up by that point. Atsuki and Shiroya's actions weren't openly questioned. After all, everyone had assumed that they'd found the Sekimeiya and had touched it without negative intentions. After Akro had revealed that Sai had been about to enter the cleaning room, Erna couldn't help but suspect that they were being shamelessly manipulated.
What?
She's.
Wait, go back.
What happened? No, this is
Hold on, go back.
What is-
the log, right? Okay.
Yeah. And she wanted to... Asking Shira's action were only because of the audience they found the second touchment that after Akira figured that Sai had been found something, I'm looking up at the fact that they were being shamelessly manipulated. Why? Wait, why does she think she's manipulated?
Because it's fucking Sai, that's why. Why would she not be suspicious of him? I don't understand, Inferno. It's fucking Sai. It's
You know, a good
Nagito
point.
Kamai on Nintendo DS.
You know what? Good point.
It only makes sense.
It's
Okay.
really that true.
She sat on the
That's
stairs.
complicated.
She sat on the stairs.
When will you get it?
I will not get it.
She was tired and had to bear the constant thought of having brought her daughter into danger. They were locked up in a huge building with a murderer, and the people she wanted to trust had accepted that time travel was an ongoing factor they'd use to explain the mysteries pressing down on them. Mentally, she was exhausted. Ever since the first time they had found Naomi's body, she had been especially careful to not let Isla out of her sight or go off with anyone else. She simply couldn't fully trust him. From finding Naomi's second body onward, it was irrefutable that something unnatural was happening, but her only priority was her daughter's safety.
Aw.
Aww.
Isla had initially been eager to go to what was supposed to be a routine event, but it had turned into something incomprehensible. Erina couldn't imagine that someone would want to harm her, but the risk of being there at all gradually eroded any confidence she had in that notion. She only wanted to show that she needed a short break before the search that seemed to follow. Her own daughter, though, didn't grasp that intention, as she suddenly walked off toward hallway A while the others stared at her curiously.
That's two screens.
Was
Seven
it?
go.
Was it?
Yes, it was two screens. Seven go.
Okay. No, I still have to
If I'm gonna
read
make it,
first.
my
Hold
pool's
on.
not 4 p.m.
I was gonna check Twitch, but I accidentally opened. You see how you like, what's it called? The URL bar. The URL bar. I typed Twitch and I entered enter without checking what it was, and I accidentally entered Evo 2K bits.
This is so sad.
I opened Evo 2023, the fighting game tournament instead. It's
That's
okay.
insane.
It is quite insane, actually.
When is? All right, wait. Why was I gonna ask when is Evo next year? It's literally the same time every year.
Actually, it's this time. It's not gonna be August. I think it's gonna be
It's
2 weeks earlier,
like,
at the end of
yeah,
July.
it's 2 weeks earlier, yes.
End of July, this time, which is quite a bit better.
Hold on, I have to fix my posture. Who cares? Who cares if it's as if it matters to you? Are you gonna go on a plane to Evo next year? Huh? Is that what's happening? Oh,
Yes.
great! They
I mean,
changed the
he's not
Shut
Turkish. He
up.
can maybe afford to do that. Maybe.
I'm not
Uh,
talking about him. I'm talking about you. You're the one who was like, "Oh, great! They moved it two weeks back."
I mean, I never said it.
Why does it matter to you?
It does not. I just clarified the question.
I think I'm going to kill you.
Okay, that would be kind of funny though.
okay, but then listen.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Romanian wins Evo.
Yeah, true.
That would be so based though. Imagine Inferno comes in, uses fucking Nago and the power of being gay to defeat Leffen and his epic chaos.
Bro, no,
happy
if I were to join Evo, I would not play Strive. I would play
based
Streets.
Base, the
Yo,
World
let's
Tour champion,
go.
bro. He's gonna bring his level 99 World Tour character with 8 health bars into the field. And he has like a moveset of DJ, Honda, he has like JP projectiles, Zangief grab.
Yo, he can also pretend to be
No,
small
no.
bad guy for some reason and use
Yeah,
like
he
a
also
dragon
has
skull.
No,
Oh,
wait,
now we
instead,
got that one. He wanted the
instead,
game.
instead of Zangief, it's gonna be Manon because she has the gimmick.
Fair enough.
The gimmicky grab is
And
funnier. Oh
anyway,
god.
let's go back.
How did it become a fighting games a topic? Oh god.
Let's go back to Sekimeiya.
Yeah, I think we should.
Mm, sweetie,
We're
shut
never gonna
up!
finish this game.
We are never finishing this game.
Sweetie, where are you going?
Oh my
That
god.
sounds like someone, but I can't pinpoint who it is. Who is that?
That sounds like fucking. What's that woman from Family Guy, Marg?
What?
Not Family Guy. The fucking.
Peter, don't touch
Peter.
the Sekimeiya, Peter.
No, wait, not
You'll
Family.
go back in time, Peter.
Wait, no, not Family Guy. Simpsons.
Oh,
Marg? What was her name?
I don't know, but I think I get what you mean.
I know it kind of sounds like that
It's a
voice.
catchy Persona 5.
Why did I say Family Guy?
Get you sigh if you think about it.
Family Guy funny moments.
Akechi is Sai if you think about it. That's all I'm
True,
saying.
true. They're the same character. They're gay for the main character, and they're a bit of a a bit of a troll. They're kind of edgy. So basically the same person.
Kate is Masasashio Chito.
Yes, he's Shido. Yeah, Kate is Shido and Sai is Akechi.
I mean, it would be kind of funny though.
When are we gonna go to Kate's palace, huh?
Masayoshi Erdogan.
I think this is Inferno. Inferno. Not Inferno. Seven. Seven go.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was 2 screens.
With a distressed and concerned voice, Erna let out those words, looking up from the stairs. Isla turned around and saw her mother's face, which she found was a little hard to decipher. Choosing to answer the question with her own actions, she continued walking and stopped next to room I5. It was the place where the gemstones had been stolen. The sole crystal loom expected this exposed to the smoke. Isla reached up to grab the doorknob and turn it to open her way in. From the stairs, 3 people looked at her, finding what they were seeing very odd. As soon as they saw Isla entering the room, Erna gave up on her brief rest and stood up. While she approached the room, she timidly called Isla's name. Once she was by the door, the 2 men behind started to approach her, intrigued by Isla's behavior.
Isla had left the door open, so Erina was the first to see inside of the room. As she remembered, it was dirtied by a dark color, and very little light went through the coating on the ceiling.
Hmm.
The light leaking in from hallway C was the main source of the illumination. It took her a second to spot Isla amidst the obscurity. She was putting all the force she could into opening a cabinet. Unbeknownst to Erina, what would then occur would not leave her memories until they all faded away.
Uh-oh.
Goofy ass sound. What the? It's 2 screens. Inferno,
It's just
not Inferno. 7.
Oh my goodness, I hate this video game. What is this Danganronpa ass song? What the heck?
Yeah, all of a sudden we have like the song coming up.
Wow.
Monaco pumps up on it. Like, go.
Monokuma
7
nitty
read.
gritty. Anyway, applying force with her 2 small arms, Isla lifted up the heavy cover of the cabinets found deep in the room. To prevent it from closing, she leaned it on the wall. After that, she attempted to peek inside, but her short body didn't make it easy. With both hands, she grabbed onto the top of the cabinet and propelled herself upward to see inside it. Once her eyes made contact with what lay within the compartment, she uncovered a nightmarish scream tore through the room, terrifying Erna while she looked in from the hallway. But that was
Damn, what is the song?
Wait, goes kind of hard though.
The song is actually good.
2085 A Space Odyssey by Roland. It says.
Okay, wait, but I gotta turn down the sound.
I like it.
Oh,
Okay,
Reptiles.
Yeah, this is the pals song.
But that was only half of what she had to witness. Isla's face was hidden in the camera, so Erna was unable to see that her confident look had been shifted into an agonizing expression. Erna's mind reeled in response as she began running to aid her daughter. She wondered what the cause of such a horrible scream could have been. Had it been physical pain or a reaction to something she'd seen? As Erna rushed inside, Isla's instinct told her to get out of that position she put herself in. However, due to her jump, the front of the cabinet had suspended in midair, painfully pressing inside her stomach and not letting her legs reach the floor. The only way she could move was by leaning forward.
Next to the door, Erna's senses all perceived the same thing. Isla, in her helpless state, inclined forward and fell inside the cabinet. Only the sound of her body was heard as no yell came out. Like the curtain falling after a play, the impact made the lid fall, shaking out its precarious balance.
What the fuck is inside the cabinet? It's like a meat
I don't
grinder or
know.
something?
No, she just got stuck in there.
The-
And now she just fell.
She saw the Project Moon lore.
If I were to put you into a meat grinder,
If I were to put
Yeah.
it in me-
Irina let out a cry and ran as fast as she could. Meanwhile, Sai and Akro looked on from the door. When Irina reopened the lid and leaned in, she finally saw what the ominous cabinet contained. Nothing. Irina didn't see anything but.
This is
Oh,
me.
sorry.
Oh my god, he's so bad.
Sorry.
So bad.
Bro is trying to steal my thunder.
You should shit.
Everyone
I
didn't,
got cut off
everyone
by
didn't
some
see,
guidelines.
everyone didn't see anything but the 5 faces of the cabinet covered by a velvet texture that, while untainted by the smoke, appeared black due to the lack of light.
Interesting.
She stood still while her heart sped up. Then she snapped and began to feel its walls, trying to understand how the cabinet swallowed up her daughter.
God.
Unable to find anything, she desperately looked around the cabinet in case she'd misinterpreted what had happened. Akra and Sahal were both bewildered, and arrived just in time to corroborate that Isla's...
Corroborate.
That is not an A.
Yeah, that's still how it's pronounced. Corroborate.
Corroborate that Isla's lower body had fallen sign. They stepped in. Arizona's next reaction was to open up the adjacent cabinet in hope of a hidden connection. Within all of them, the only contents were a handful of gems.
I'm gonna have put the song in my next quick scope montage.
As that wordless commotion continued, I moved toward the cabinet, and Ala followed him into. He looked inside it for a few seconds and verified with his own eyes that there were nobody inside. Seven, stop playing with your mouse!
I was wondering when you would notice.
I noticed it the moment you did it. Just as Erina had done, he couldn't suppress the need to reach in, attempting to find a hidden passageway. He held the entire interior, and once he was done, he stood back up to gesture at Akira that Erina was right. There was nothing here. There, I mean. 7, read.
7.
Why do I have to be the one to read?
Because it's your turn.
I hate democracy. They turned to Erna, who had gone completely immobile. Every cabinet had been opened and closed, and she was leaning against the last one without the strength to look up. Before the others had to wait, she spoke with a nearly broken voice.
Where did she go? She couldn't have disappeared.
Oh my god. It's a Joe Banana. In their circumstances, that normally sensible claim had no basis. Of course she could have disappeared, but as such a thing had already happened multiple times, the real question that they had to ask themselves was how. Sai and Akro knew that, but they didn't apply, unable to find the appropriate words. I know what happened! Oh god!
What happened?
Remember the recording?
Yeah.
Ayla suddenly found herself in the future in 1 month. Yeah, when she opened the fucking cabinet, she fell in, and there was like a fucking like a different kind of Sekimeiya in there. And when she fell down, she accidentally touched it, so she was sent into the future instead of the past. By I don't know how it works, but essentially it's gonna be also time traveling in the future from now on, not just the past. Trust me, that's my theory. She just got sent to the future, and now they're having the recording in which like she's confused.
I'm not sure. We'll see. Tell me. Something must have happened to her, and it has to do with this teleportation thing you keep talking about. What happened? They had realized that the room was empty. Ayla had suddenly disappeared without leaving a trace. Even though disappearances had become commonplace, they thought that the Sekimeiya had to be directly involved for one to occur. Despite that, they'd found it in the cleaning room and left it there. Furthermore, Atsuki's explanation of the range emitted by the Sekimeiya couldn't explain what had occurred, as nobody else nearby had disappeared alongside Ayla. And even though it seemed less importance, there was one last thing without an explanation. Ayla's scream. She let out a terrifying cry as soon as she looked out the cabinet. However, Erina had immediately looked inside and seen nothing. Sai and Akuro told all of that to Erina, who, until that point, hadn't fully considered that the implications of the paranormal events she had witnessed. They want to reassure Erina that even though Ayla had somehow disappeared, she had gone to the past and was somewhere safe.
Erin knew that what had happened couldn't be immediately answered, so she rushed out to find Isla, hoping they would reunite soon. They had a whole building to search through and no guarantee that Isla was still in it. At the same time, a part of Erin was still trying to understand why Isla had suddenly walked to that cabin. She tried to comfort herself while when she remembered the recording they heard in the attic, since in the worst case scenario, it told her that Isla was going to be safe in a month. For the first time, Erin viewed it as a failsafe instead of one of the worst possibilities. Only 3 people were part of the group that still remained on the crystal floor. They wanted to urgently find Isla, whose vanishing had suddenly generated the first real instance of chaos since the start of the imprisonment. They confirmed that the Sekimeiya had moved from the cleaning room and their rushed search began. They kept yelling out his name, hoping that she would appear before them. Even though a single disappearance hadn't yet been linked to direct danger, Erina was very clearly nervous, which was why they went through the whole building as fast as they could.
Seven.
Having recently
No,
looked through the entire bottom floor, they were done with it swiftly. The elevator should have been disabled in the attic, so their search continued through the stairs. Emitting clear desperation, they hastily looked through the rest of the building, yelling for Ireland. Once they finished, the result took a bit of time to sink in. Not only they had not found Isla, but Kate, Shoya, and Dotsuki hadn't been drawn to their yells either. As they thought, the elevator was still open. They chose not to re-enable it. With a much slower pace and devoid of energy, they headed downstairs. Surrounded by the haunting silence, Erina's thoughts kept going back to the recording, which she could no longer make Sai and Akira listen to even if she wanted to, as it had disappeared along with Hyla's curse.
The crystal floor was just as empty as before. None of them knew what to do, so they lethargically walked to the lobby.
Lethargically.
7.
That was 2 screens, yeah, 7, go.
So sad.
I'm so good.
Before them was the immutable shutter, preventing them from escaping or obtaining help. Erina leaned against it while the other 2 stayed still. Imagining how much Erina was suffering, being faced with the precarious disappearance of her child, they had chosen long ago to not say anything unnecessary. For a while, they stayed there, powerless against the confusing reality, hoping that the waiting would lead them somewhere. They knew where the Sekimeiya was, but without Kate, dealing with it seemed far from their priority. It appeared impossible that it had been related to Isla's disappearance, but no other explanation existed. Out of the blue, they found themselves alone in that huge building with 2 identical corpses after 4 people had vanished.
The silence had not been interrupted since they'd set foot on the crystal floor, but the 2 of them had been thinking about drastically different things. It was an outside sound that finally breached the empty air, coming from hallway A. They immediately lifted their heads. The door had been left open, so they all rushed to see if they could spot the origin of the sound. They did so easily. Kate's figure was in the middle of the white floor. His shoulders slumped. As soon as they saw each other, Kate rushed them.
Where did you go? We searched for you.
Sai shot the first question. Immediately answered came that left the 3 of them unsatisfied. I don't know, I think I experienced what Batsky said. That teleportation. I've been searching for you.
You know, Kate, you look much younger now.
The brief explanations was all they
Wait.
got.
Close the text. Is that the same eye color?
Yes?
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
What did they mean by this?
Is that him from the 8 bazillion years from the future? Is that why he has
God.
999?
Oh god. Hold on. Zen,
Yes.
one moment. Where's that image? Where's that gif? Oh, yep. Is this us right now? Hold on, I got a meme for this.
Literally, yes, yeah.
It is how it is, I suppose. Anyway, we will continue.
The brief explanation was all they got, so the next thing that came out of the sound was the question they know would come. Where are Ayla, Atsuki, and Shiroya? Hachi looked through the door and saw an empty hall. 3 faces lowered in front of it, communicating what had occurred. Awkward knowing how hard it was for Eren not to hear those words, so as to speak and briefly explain the recent events.
There's a lot of information to take in for Kate, and it only made everything that had recently happened even more confusing. Despite that, he had a few thoughts that he chose to keep to himself.
I see. I'm sorry, but I have no clue what happened to any of us. You said you searched the building, right?
The others nodded. They told him where Ayla, Atsuki, and Shiroi had disappeared from, so he began walking toward Leslie and Ayla, as that part of the story was what he at least understood. They all entered room A5 and were hit by the memory of Ayla's body falling into that living void. They'd all lowered every lid before leaving, so Sai pointed at that specific one.
Kate approached it, finding it hard to believe that nothing had been found inside. He completely denied the thought of any opening or passage within the cabinet, so he wanted to see if he could get a good idea of what had happened, or if he could reinforce what he believed had truly occurred. He gripped the lower part of the lid with his right hand and lifted it. As soon as the smallest gap appeared, he peeked inside. Even though there was very little light, he frowned. As he continued uncovering the cabinet, that frown shifted into a much darker expression. Once he was done, he could only gesture at the others with their own eyes, as he couldn't bring himself to say the words out loud. Hearing his faint but trembling voice, Erina rushed to see what he'd seen. What? What?
Hello? When she saw the body of her daughter lying face up, her mind broke, and all her thoughts were defied. Ayla almost looked like she was asleep, but the lack of her chest rising made Erina fear the worst. Without thinking, she reached inside, and as soon as she felt Ayla's skin, she gave up and collapsed onto the cabin, creating a sight reminiscent of the last time Ayla had been seen. She had felt no trace of life, only a cold piece of flesh with a texture far from the one she recognized as her daughter's.
Jesus Christ.
What?
Huh? While the others stared with pity, Erina didn't move, her sharp cries piercing the air. The recording, which she had begun to see as proof of hope, had become an impossibility. After some time, Kachi looked inside the cabin again while everyone kept an eye on him. I didn't see anything else either. Ayla rested alone, the space she disappeared from.
You just died like that?
But
What?
But why didn't Erina feel...
Okay, so if Isla was present a month from the future, then she couldn't have died. For a month, at least. So, random theory, this is probably the dead corpse of Isla from the future, I think.
I don't know, 7 read.
I suppose that makes the most sense. The others knew how heartless it was to attempt to solve what had happened right away, but nobody could help but think about how little sense it all made. Isla had disappeared from the antique cabinet to reappear inside it later, but the only change, her status from alive to dead. A preferred death had surfaced, and that time, someone who had been with the group from the start had been the victim. Once again, a number of questions came along with it, but no answers, not even the cause of death. Regardless, the unfortunate reality was that a mother had lost her child in what should have been an enjoyable day that had morphed into an inexplicable nightmare. The rest of them verified that Isla was no longer alive, and while they were hit hard by such a tragedy, they knew they couldn't even begin to imagine what Erna was feeling. Ayo exchanged looks without interfering with her, her body trembling as she hit her face. Eventually, she stood up abruptly and dashed out of the room, usually displaying her tormented expression.
Erna had left due to a recollection of Naomi's death. A killer was nearby and had managed to remain unseen. Even though she couldn't begin to take in what had happened, she understood that her life warped into something terrible. Regret her only companion. She took advantage of the last amount of strength she had within herself and used it while adrenaline still led her. Frantically, she opened every door of the hallway. Then she looked through every cabinet in case the killer had brazenly hidden in one. Her thoughts on the matter were clear, and she knew who to suspect. Kate, Atsuki, and Shiroya could have been responsible in some way.
However, as soon as she entered the huge and overwhelming lobby, her body gave out under the full weight of her daughter's death. She wouldn't be able to find the killer, and most likely she would never begin to understand what had happened to her. Suffering from the most painful feeling of emptiness, she slumped on the wall and slowly slid to the ground. Sai, Akira, and Kate, finally seeing the sign of Erina's movements had abruptly faded, walked to the lobby and saw her sitting on the floor ahead. They approached her slowly and remained at her side. A loud noise resounded through the entire floor that they understood what it had been. The cabinet's lid had fallen when nobody had been looking, seeing Isla inside while also laying her rest peacefully. Nobody chose to leave the lobby. They knew that gravity, a simple law of the universe, had closed Isla's coffin by itself. However, they didn't know the true consequences that sound had brought and spent the time unaware until the hallway B door opened.
That's messed up.
It really is.
7.
7.
I finished summarizing what had happened, avoiding explicit words that would have hurt Erna even more. It was way too much to take in, and it revealed that we'd slept together for longer than we'd fought. As I looked at Erna, who hadn't raised her head since we'd entered, I saw the wet stains on her lap that I'd missed before. Shreya looked crushed. She couldn't believe such a sudden and tragic story had unfolded while she'd slept. I began to feel guilty about my recent actions, ones I'd taken in ignorance. I didn't know what to say, so I just stood there, repelling the thought that Isla was really no longer with us. I felt terrible for her and Erna, but also unimaginably pissed off. Instead of having the chance to more privately, Erna had to spend hours locked up with us, not understanding how or why her daughter had passed away. It was a bad idea, but I asked it regardless, in a quiet voice. Can I go and see?
Sai nodded hesitantly, as it wasn't his decision. Shiraya must have been horrified at the thought of seeing Isla with her own eyes. I didn't want to see her either, but I wanted to understand what had happened more than anything. It was the least we could do. I didn't know how to act, only that attempting to comfort Erina was foolish. We told her how sorry we were as soon as Sai had mentioned Isla's death, but that had been it.
Before I could move, Erina stood up and looked at us. Although she didn't have the strength to speak, she breathed while wiping her face and walked toward hallway A. She needed to know what had occurred. Many things were strange, starting with Isla's behavior. She had gone to the cabinet by herself without explaining why, so there must have been something important there. Then her yell upon seeing its contents. Given how Erina had the cabinet empty, it's possible to conclude what Isla had witnessed. Seemed possible. Okay. And even though the second maid had been in the cleaning room, there was a chance that two existed.
If Isla's
7.
appearance had been caused by the Sekimeiya, it was possible that she had seen a human body. It would have warranted the scream, and humans were all that the Sekimeiya seemed to make travel. Maybe there'd been someone in the cabinet, and they disappeared at the same time as Isla. However, I kept in mind what Shiroi and I had just discussed. If falling into the cabinet had made Isla touch what had been inside, she might have traveled with it if it had become something she possessed, for lack of a better term. And if that was what had happened, the source of the range must have been outside the cabinet, or else the Sekimeiya would have remained inside it. If the range had come from the Sekimeiya in the cleaning room, Erna, by the same entrance room to A5, should have traveled as well, given how Sai and Nakuro had seen Isla falling into the cabinet. Kate, who had just disappeared, could have been who'd activated it. In that case, nobody would have noticed he'd traveled too, as he'd been believed to have disappeared prior.
However, the crystal floor had just been searched, so if Kate's range had encompassed the whole cabinet, it might have come from floor 2. If the range went through solid objects, it could have come from the ceiling if Kate had been above the room. In fact, my third travel suggested that the range could go through solid objects. The Sekimeiya had been in the cleaning cart and had been picked up too, so if the Sekimeiya was the nucleus of the range, the cart's walls should have prevented me from traveling. After Isla's disappearance, the group had searched through the whole building and hadn't found Kate. If he'd activated a travel from floor 2, he could have appeared on the crystal floor, escaping the search. However, it was important to note that they hadn't found me and Shiroya, so their search hadn't been perfect. That theory explained Kate and Isla's disappearances along with the lack of the Sekimeiya in the cabinet. Would it mean that it had all just been a very unfortunate coincidence, though?
Bro, I'm saying they need to nerf the second man's range next patch.
Truly, bro, it goes through walls. That shit is insane.
I think they need to increase its cooldown, just saying. This shit's getting too meta right now, man. You know, have you ever seen someone using Ghost? They always use the Sekimeiya. It's always
Bro.
it's either always the Flash or the Sekimeiya, just saying.
Just lower the range of it. It's an egg.
Yeah, dude.
It is
Yeah.
big.
I actually kind of feel bad for Erna.
I have felt something peculiar about the cabinet, and there had been something frightening inside it. We were all in front of it. Since nobody else was going to step in, I walked forward myself. I was afraid and worried about how Isla would look when I needed to find something that hinted at what had happened. I began raising the lid while everyone kept their eyes slightly diverted from me. I carefully leaned on the wall
That's
so that
not
it wouldn't
you.
close again.
It's not you.
Oh,
That's you, dumbass.
To me, I know. I thought it would work, but okay, whatever. I carefully leaned it on the wall so it wouldn't close again. Then I finally looked inside, hoping that the dim light would prevent the sight from being too harsh. Wait, this isn't what you said. What is it? Sai, thinking I'd accuse him of lying, walked forward while everyone adopted a slight frown. As soon as he looked, he understood what I'd meant. I don't get it. Why is this?
Oh, the egg.
egg?
The others all the others all got closer. They saw Isla resting. Oh my god, hold on. Okay, my stream went portable mode. Wait, that happened.
That's what
The others all got closer. They saw Isla resting face up with her knees folded. However, my own little wish had been denied by the Sekimeiya, who was beside her, emitting a faint light that illuminated her more than I'd wanted.
What? What? It shouldn't be here. I haven't gone to the clean room myself, but I'm certain that when I saw her, there was nothing else here. I didn't find it appropriate to blame them for having left the second man out of the cabinet since Isla had disappeared, but none of us could have moved it. Yeah, I'm sure Sekimeiya wasn't here when we left.
Erna, who had all Erna, who had been the only one to refrain from looking, gave a small nod when our eyes met.
There's no way it got here by itself.
What if it grew legs and it like actually walked through?
Bro, the range is nuts. Now it can grow legs.
Now it can walk, bro. Kate left the room as he gestured us to follow. Naturally, he was going to the cleaning room, so Shiro and I instinctively looked at each other, knowing how that would end.
That's two
What
screen
the-
7 read.
7.
7 read.
I am.
Read.
Okay. What the? Oh right, you said the cleaning card that disappeared after our travel.
This is too much. Does it simply not exist anymore?
7.
No, it's not me.
Yeah,
It was
two
two
screens.
screens.
We'd hidden the Sekimeiya, but admitting it was pointless, as they had nothing to do with Isla's death and would only make us extremely suspicious. I made sure to communicate my stance on it to Shiroya by appearing to be unsurprised. Not here. We left the Sekimeiya in this bucket. What then? Would it teleport to Isla? Listen, Aski, I don't want to throw out useless accusations right now, but you understand that you and Shiroya are the only two people who could have moved it, right?
That's not true. Someone who came from the future could have also done it too.
You're right, but assuming that didn't happen, it could have been only you two. Kate could have taken it as well, but he couldn't have left it in the cabinet. This is the first time you've seen the cleaning cart gone, right? You came to the lobby from hallway B, so did you not explore these rooms? Why did you go straight to the lobby? Understand that what you've told us is that you two spent all the time in the attic sleeping. Despite this, you weren't found. You didn't find Kate earlier, so you obviously didn't do a great job. And you were in a rush. So you kept yelling Isla's name while quickly looking. I bet you didn't look at the upper levels of the bedrooms, which is where we were. And since we were asleep, we didn't hear you. And yes, we found it unlikely that you'd be in the crystal room, so our first instinct was to go to the event room and take them to the lobby, and then to the lobby. Forgive me, but I find this hard to believe. It came from hallway B, which is unneeded for what you're saying. In fact, since you knew the Sekimeiya had been in the cleaning room, what I find most believable is that you came here straight away. Sorry.
Huh?
We didn't. We just had to go to the bathroom after sleeping, so we took hallway B afterward. Both of you? Yes, does that matter? I'm not misremembering. There's a corpse covering the entire floor of the men's. Did it not bother you? Don't be stupid, I used the other one too.
7. Inferno.
I immediately missed that. But I stopped talking as I started to feel very disrespectful. I wasn't sure if he was accusing us of having Sekimeiya being involved in Isla's death. I didn't have to say, but I'd been ready to claim that if we'd hidden in Isla's cabinet, we wouldn't have appeared from hallway A.
Well, no matter how, the Sekimeiya moved from here to the cabinet. I don't know why the culprit would do this.
7.
It's me again? Oh my god. This game is bullying me. Shiroya and I had hidden the Sekimeiya in Nami's locker, so it was even more confusing for us. Nobody could have put it in the cabinet. The goal seemed very hard to decipher. There was the entire existence of another Sekimeiya to deal with. Something Sai had said bothered me. The culprits. He was implying that what had happened to Isla had a culprit behind it, and the one who orchestrated everything deliberately. I wasn't so convinced about that, so we moved again to where Isla lay to find out about an important fact, the cause of her death.
We'd left the lid uncovered, and as I peeked inside, I saw that the Sekimeiya was still present. It was white, and it emitted a bit of light around itself. I covered my hand with my sleeve and reached in to grab it. I underestimated the depth of the cabinet, and my fingers brushed the Sekimeiya, causing it to roll and contact Isla's face. Ain't no way! Frowning, I retrieved it properly and stood up straight. Okay, I thought it was gonna, like,
Remember what we thought about
make
Nami?
Isla go back to the past.
Perhaps the Sekimeiya had replicated her dead body. Oh, I accidentally knocked it into Isla's cheek, and given how the Sekimeiya is still white and it wasn't picked up by any range, it's unlikely anything happened. Is it hot? Slightly, yes.
Really, it was almost hot enough to hurt, but I didn't feel like indulging sigh.
Since I didn't know what to do with it, I made my way to the other room and put it in the cabinet. I explored the possibility of activating myself, but I discarded quickly as it was clear that we didn't truly know how it worked, and the death that seemed to have been closely tied to its mechanic had just taken place. Going back, I met Kati in the hallway. I went to grab this from the security room. It's a little flashlight I used to move around this floor when the lights are off. It should be helpful.
I see, it will. Once
Seven.
I returned, I showed the light to Erina, letting her know that it'd help us to look at Isla and the cabinet. Erina, are you opposed to this? If you prefer, we can wait until the police investigate. I would like to see if anything's to be found and to learn what happened, but I understand if you wanted us to hold off.
Thank you, Zen.
No. Go ahead.
Okay. At least it was good to see that she didn't strongly suspect us of being responsible, even though it seemed that only Shiroi and I could have had the chance to move the Sekimeiya. Based on the story that Sai had told us, it should have been possible for Sai, Akuro, and Kate to be working together and have put the Sekimeiya there themselves, but it was a very unlikely thought.
I stepped forward again. My intention was not to touch Isla directly, and even though I'd appreciate the lack of proper illumination earlier, I was about to use a light myself. I felt very uneasy, but the dark scenery might have been preventing us from seeing something important. Oh shit! Holy, that's so bright.
That is the brightest flashlight ever made. Well, is there anything on here? It doesn't look like it. The art is
No.
good though.
What if it's on their heart?
As soon as I turned it on, the flashlight proved to be very strong. I illuminated the entire room, and for the first time we clearly saw what the walls and ceilings had turned into. They could almost be called disfigured, but at first glance nothing stood out. I moved to the cabinet, and aside from Erina, who remained by the door, the rest got closer too. I could clearly see Isla's hauntingly peaceful face. Bearing such a sight was too overwhelming, and for an instant I thought I'd suddenly wake back up in the attic. However, apart from that, the result wasn't what I'd expected. The darkness wasn't concealing anything from us. In fact, the interior of the cabinet was exactly as it had appeared. Not a single drop of blood had stained it, and nothing hinted at the way Isla had lost her life.
For the first time, and with a life lamp, I reached my hand out to touch her. However, any doubt I had were wiped away by the lifeless skin that made contact with mine. Even though nothing indicated how it happened, Isla was not alive. How had the leap from life to death happened? I had no good guess. I spoke in a faint voice so that Erina wouldn't hear me. 2 weeks prior, death had destroyed my life, but that was absolutely minuscule compared to how Erina must have felt. If I had any answers for her, they needed to be certain.
I can't know what happened to her just by looking. There's no blood at all. It reminds me a bit of the second Nami. So, physical damage wasn't the cause, unless brain damage from a blow didn't leave a wound. Could have been poisoning. Think someone had the chance to poison her in a situation like this? Just keeping my options open. I don't know. If someone did this to her, sure, but in terms of natural deaths, not many things would apply, as the common ones such as sudden heart failures are extremely rare for children.
The Sekimeiya was in some way involved, so we have to think about. So we think about more out of the ordinary causes.
That's what I was thinking too, Akuro. Good job. Yeah. If traveling is what caused this origin to begin with, when she disappeared, she must have traveled through time and appeared somewhere else. At that point, she couldn't have existed. It's possible she appeared and this did. Even though she reminds me of the second Nami, that body had a wound in the head. Can't see any such thing here though.
What other cause would result in this kind of state? Starvation, for example?
Well, she would have died of dehydration before starvation, and that has effects on the skin.
I actually don't know who this is.
7.
Inferno.
It's 7.
It's
Are you
Inferno.
sure?
Yes, it's 7.
No, it's not.
Now I don't know who to believe.
Zen, would I ever lie to you? Have I ever lied to you before, Zen?
I gently pinched Isla's cheek, lightly pulled it, and then released it.
Does even answer pace.
If someone's dehydrated, their skin isn't very elastic. I don't see anything indicating it here. It looks normal. Also, she'd have to spend a pretty long time here. Definitely more than a day.
What about asphyxiation?
They waterboarded her.
There would need to be like neck marks.
A culprit would have it easy if their victim was a child, but there are no marks on her neck.
Oh, I meant asphyxiation within the cabinet. It doesn't seem like a big space, so could that have happened?
I doubt it. But it's true that something was up with this cabinet, but that would require her to spend a long time inside. There's no reason why she wouldn't have left. It's much less time than dehydration, but it's still considerable. Let's say that she couldn't escape though, and the way she'd die would be from carbon dioxide intoxication, not from lack of oxygen. Even in such a small space though, I think it'd take 6 or 7 hours. Maybe even more since the child would breathe less.
Really? Children breathe less?
Yeah, they have higher
I
heart
thought they
rates
would-
but breathe less.
I thought they would breathe more, if anything.
I suppose that makes sense, because their hearts do beat faster, but yeah. I don't know why they would breathe less. Weird. It was much less than 7 hours ago when we last looked through this room and the cabinets. Right. The way this happened, we can't tell if it was a homicide or an accident caused by the Sekimeiya. She most likely traveled to the past, but even if she spent that time in the cabin, it wouldn't have been enough to kill her. And since Erna wasn't picked up by the travel, it's likely she didn't go very far back.
There was another reason why I believe something like that might have happened, and it was Isla's yell. If she traveled to the past and had spent time in the cabinet, it meant that what had made Isla scream had been seeing her own body. However, the same travel would have made 2 bodies travel back, multiplying the number every time. That couldn't be right, and it also meant that the body she'd seen must have been alive. Well, I just played in my mind. 6 or 7 hours would have been needed for her to suffocate inside the cabinet. That thing could be cut in half if 2 Isla had been in the cabinet, although as they would have breathed twice as much.
Interesting. That's also a big theory. Okay. Let him cook.
Nonetheless, that was completely off the mark. It must have been a bizarre homicide, which is one of the most unnerving thoughts that could come to me.
Okay.
What is this delay-based stream?
Hold on. I'm trying to get into a more comfortable position on my chair, but it's not working.
Oh my god.
I still have no idea why the Sekimeiya appeared here. You sure it wasn't here before you left, right?
Yeah, we checked around her.
Then something else happened that put it here. If someone who If someone brought it deliberately, must have been the culprit, needing it for whatever happened. If not, then it means that the Sekimeiya can teleport and travel too. Maybe that's why we didn't find it when Isla disappeared, because the Sekimeiya she traveled with had also teleported. Yes, but if that's it, it would have appeared with Isla's body, not later.
We, c- we continued looking at her face, slight traces of pain present behind its seeming serenity. A few hot tears stung the corner of my eyes. The few peaceful appearance she had was a cruel joke, nothing more. Although I kept trying to reach a conclusion, everything was too broad and strange to decide anything. At my side, Shiroya, not having spoken in a while, hadn't taken her eyes off of Isla. Eventually, we turned around. Erina was by the door, looking down. I couldn't imagine what their thoughts were, but we let her know the gist of what we determined. She accepted our words with almost imperceptible nods. We didn't know what else to do, but as we were about to leave, she stepped into the room and walked up to Isla again. I wasn't sure why until I saw her staring inside and crying again. We silently watched her, understanding how painful but hard to resist that sight must have been for her. When she was ready, she stood up, straight, and approached us. We had only known her for a few hours, but I felt the most sincere sadness for her.
Excluding Naomi, Idol was the second death I had to directly face. If the past 2 weeks hadn't drained drained me like they had, I probably would have been able to control my emotions. I recalled a recording that told us Isla would be alive in a month. What to think about it, I had no idea, but it had ironically became a last hope, or become a last hope. Could the second man have the power to bring the person back to life? It wasn't that ridiculous of a thought depending on how it works, so making the recording become true at the cost of spending a month in the tower was the best case scenario. If one thing was certain, it was that some kind of plan existed behind it. Out of everyone there, the recorder had appeared inside Alice. First, he knew what then, some words that stood out as strange. In a few hours at 20 at 21 sharp, we'd have a much better
Arp.
understanding of its veracity. Yeah, it's sharp. Although we hadn't checked, it was very lucky within that mysterious cabinet still inside Idle's purse.
Now,
That's 3 screens.
after
That's still no. That's me. It was 3 screens.
it was three,
It
that's
was
Yeah.
unlucky.
three. A screen
I,
came up, I opened the logs, and then two more appeared.
yeah. After giving the flashlight back to Kati, he brought it to the secure room. Once again, we moved to the lobby due to its proximity to outside world and how spacious it was. Shiroya, Kati, and I sat on the couch. There were chairs next to their session desk, but everyone else chose to sit on the floor in silence, leaning against the wall. Our most recent incident had shattered every ounce of our motivation within me. While it had made me want to know what was going on even more, I only had the energy to think to myself.
I was almost sure that the two Sekimeiya existed, and that one had been a source of Isla's death. I still held the keys to the other one. My intention had been to later check on the Sekimeiya that we had, so I had to eventually decide what to do regarding that. We were all sitting down, letting the time pass and awaiting our release. If I didn't do anything, it was possible the police would find a key on me, giving away that I'd been the one to hide the Sekimeiya. I would have to ditch it before it was too late. I could see Shiroya next to me, looking down on the floor. She'd been trying to accept Miya's death. Naomi had surely made things worse, and Isla, by taking a liking to Shiroya fairly quickly, was gone too. The best thing I could do for her was let her process it. Unlike 2 weeks ago, we'd seen Isla's dead body, meaning that using the Sekimeiya to prevent her death was probably not doable. Despite that, it could have been useful to understand what had happened if we used it to go to the past.
Zen
Hold
died.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Could the past be changed? There are many different ways the universe could work. If the past could be changed, how would it work? Upon traveling, would the timeline we live in change? If so, the person who would travel would be the only one aware of the everyone else.
Zen, you're getting cut off.
Yeah, like
Man,
heavily cut off, like crazy cut off. You
if
are
the
so
past
bad.
could if the past could be changed, how would it work? Upon traveling, would the timeline we live in change? Okay, I just saw it cut off again. If so, the person who traveled would be the only one aware of the change, and everyone else would only have memories of the new time. Another way could be that upon traveling and changing the past, a new flow of time is created with the change. In this case, the original one would continue without being affected, and the person who had traveled would stop existing in it altogether. But it doesn't seem like the Sekimeiya allows for either one. We travel to the past, to the very same timeline, and don't change anything. Yet the travels do allow for occurrences to happen that we'd already experienced before traveling. It was impossible to feel sure about this, but hours ago, I tried to save Noemi. As soon as I became determined to change the past, and when it seemed possible, the universe put a barrier in front of me and made everything occur as it had. Even though when I had ran to the bathroom, it might have already been too late to save Naomi, I had decided not to let the culprit escape, even though that was seamlessly denied too.
Shit's getting too real this time.
True. Inferno?
Alright. Uh, we kept we kept the second man away. We kept the second meal we'd last showered with inside Naomi's locker. We were right, and the longer it spent away from the cold, the farther we'd go. We might have been able to use it to go more than 2 weeks into the past. I knew nothing good would come from that, but at least seeing Mia again was a big possibility. However, when we've been inside the Sekimeiya, it hadn't appeared to work, so to use it again, we had to hope it would start working eventually. So we'll go back far enough, the time travel could be less that or equal the time stored, but I didn't think that was the case. If Kimita took me out of the cabinet for 20 minutes other than a 20-minute travel, we couldn't go so far back. If, for example, a minute stored resulted in a 30-minute travel, it could be possible, but it wouldn't correspond to my 3 travels. 7.
I
Seven,
thought
what
as
did you
much.
think about?
Big boobs. Big man boobs. That's what I was thinking of. Why had the Sekimeiya not worked when we put it into the locker? Could the universe have prevented it from working? What if, after traveling, we would have been guaranteed to change what already occurred? Maybe when a travel was going to lead into an impossibility, the Sekimeiya wouldn't allow it to begin with. One more time, I thought led me back to the recorder and informed us that we'd spend my and Shroya's birthdays in the tower. If it came true, we could possibly start a Sekimeiya for 30 days, granting a very, very far travel. We found the recorder in our present, so a clear implication was that someone had traveled from the future to bring it to us. It had appeared inside Isla's purse, but she couldn't have been the one to travel since she had died. Strangely, though, the recording also seemed to prove that she would be alive in a month, and to top it off, Saya Nakro had sounded very surprised to see her.
Did they? I don't remember. I got a bit dizzy. Just what was the reality of it all? It had to be related to Isla's friend. Someone in that silent room with me could have had the intent purpose for an
Zen,
entire. What?
Zen, can you leave and come back? Your mic keeps cutting off.
Bruh. Okay, hold on. Hello, hello, hello?
Mm-hmm.
Hello? Yo,
Hello.
yo, yo, it's me, Kati Kuichi.
It is this time it's me.
Okay, try reading again.
Okay, I have to join.
Once we hit the 2 hour mark, we'll take like a 10-minute break and then continue from there.
I got a bit dizzy. Just what was the reality of it all? It had to be related to Isla's mysterious friend.
Okay, much
S-
better.
Someone in that silent room with me could have had the intention to trap us for an entire month, potentially so that they could achieve a very far travel. As I thought of it, I realized more and more how important it was to fully understand the Sekimeiya. While the person responsible had to be around us, it is possible that they hadn't thought of it yet. Since Erina and Shiroya had heard the recording, I found it unlikely that either of them would be the one to eventually cause that outcome, as their idea of staying for one more month would have originally come from having heard the recording, just like how I thought of some of its benefits only because the idea had been presented to me. While such a casual loop couldn't be completely ruled out, it sounded irrational. Sai had been who'd first presented the draft of a theory I was using. That the time the Sekimeiya spent outside of its cabinet was what determined the amount of time traveled. If that would be the fundamental motive of our extended imprisonment, Sai, who hadn't listened to the recording, was the strongest candidate to suspect. However, the recording had made it sound as if we'd been abandoned by the world outside, so blaming someone in the building instead might have been foolish.
The reality was that we are most likely still sharing space with a killer who had killed anywhere from 1 to 3 times. The death of the second enemy had almost certainly been a normal homicide, but I wasn't sure if the case was the same with Isla. The corporate action had been linked to the second man from the beginning. They had managed to escape us so far. It was strange how they know straight away about the second man's power and had begun to seem like they might have come from the far future. It could have all been in process. All of us had learned about the second man's powers, and someone had decided to trap us for an entire month and then would actually accomplish it somehow. In the future, once the required time passed, they would travel back and exit at the start of the day's event with a full understanding of the Sekimeiya. They would cause what they once seen, which meant that at that moment, a future version of one of us existed somewhere. It was a bit paradoxical too, but depending on how they would replicate the events they experienced, it might have made sense. I recall the first time I traveled to the past when Shura hadn't realized that it had been a future self of mine. What if, in one of the searches, we found the culprit but hadn't known it? Could they have impersonated their past self at some point?
Ooh, that's a weird way of thinking.
Can I reread that for a second?
You're really gonna reread all of that?
Yeah, I'm gonna skim through it really fast. Shit. I might have been completely off, and without the recordings, actually, Zen, you know what? This
Yes.
happened. I think this has happened, and this is like a hint. Go back, look at the past of the game, see who
Now you
did
wanna go
this.
back and play the game again? Hell nah.
We're not gonna do that. But just saying, the game gave us the hint. I might have been completely off, and without the recording's existence, my thoughts would have been vastly different. If it had been faked in order to mislead us, it had proven to be very effective. If we had to trust it, though, the fact that who had traveled had brought the voice recorder with them was still very important. They must have had a solid reason to do that, and I wanted to believe, one, they'd thought of themselves, not just because they previously experienced the reality in which the voice recorder had been brought. We wouldn't have food to survive, and there was no way Asha and the police would abandon us. However, if the recording we'd heard would truly occur in the future, there was one last thing I had to think about. I believed that, if somehow, it would be one of us who would trap everyone inside the tower for longer than we expected. While it sounded impossible, we possessed the Sekimeiya, which had powers we didn't even know the extent of. It was likely that keeping the tower shut would be even harder from the outside. Inside, we had access to the computer that managed the security system. Altering the alarm's functions as well wasn't the reach. It wasn't that simple though. Even if one of us permanently locked the exit, the outside would have to get us in less than a month, as it would become a life or death situation. They had said that. Okay, never mind.
They had said that blowing off the shutters wasn't viable, but there had to be something that they could do if it came down to it. An underground passage, for example. There was no way the shutters alone would keep us trapped for a month.
Also, Zen, it's currently
Yes?
23. The hour is currently 23.
What am I supposed to do with that information?
I think it's funny.
He said he wanted a 10-minute break.
No,
Oh,
I said
okay.
that because the stream has begun, everyone. Let's go. Or something.
What?
Like the stream is just beginning. That's like the joke.
I'm not laughing.
I didn't laugh either.
I'm gonna cry. I'm going to cry. This is so.
What are you
sad.
doing?
I just checked the buttons. Anyway, let's continue.
What? That was almost as mysterious as what happened in the game.
Bro, I opened it. Okay, hold on. This is not what I'm looking for.
What if the second man's
Why
controlling
is it
him?
showing
Right now, yeah.
search? Okay. Save. Okay, here it is. So, when I clicked, I was in the last page. I saved it here, not noticing that I was in the last page. I went back, saw the original save, overwrote on top of it, came back, deleted the one over here, and made sure that there was only one save file which we were using. Because I thought it would be funny.
Okay, can you go to the next line of dialogue?
Okay.
But didn't you want a 10-minute break?
We can.
He said he wanted a 10-minute break when he got to the 2-hour mark, which happens in 30 minutes.
Yeah. 2 hours might be a bit too long. We'll do it at like an hour and 40 minutes, or like an hour and 45. Anyway, read Zen.
And regarding their motive, I didn't think I was being unrealistic. It might have been to use the Sekimeiya in a specific way, and I couldn't think of anything else. That would confirm that the time travel wasn't determined a 1-to-1 ratio.
Ratio?
If 10 stored minutes resulted in a travel of 10 minutes, storing more time, or up to a month, would be useless. No matter how much the Sekimeiya has spent outside of its cabinet, activating it would always send you to the point where the time had begun to be stored. When I thought of that, I came to a pretty unsettling realization. If that was in some way the motive, after a month, a lot of time would have been stored, and it was given that at least 1 month would be traveled back, we'd reached the conclusion that the range was likely proportional to the time traveled, and that it was most likely went through solid objects. If the range of a 40-minute travel had equal to a sizable room, a 30-day one would surely reach far outside the tower. That would pick many people up, and they'd be sent back.
Okay, fine. I'm sorry.
And they'd be sent back alongside the culprit who would activate the Sekimeiya. Of course, there hadn't been any reports of many people having suddenly arrived from the future.
Thank you.
The minutes kept passing and the mutual silence wasn't broken. I continued going over the same thoughts, but ultimately we would have to wait to decide further on any theory. At the very least, considering all those options would prepare me for whatever would end up happening. I didn't reach any conclusion. Everything that came to mind I had already thought of. Waiting for like that only stole our perception of time, but there was nothing else we could do. Sure, I kept looking at her lab, breathing deeply every so often. Erna hadn't moved in a long time, and her knees and her face hid her face from us. Zai's, Akuro's, and Katsu's expressions alternate between concern and thought, but they rarely lifted their heads.
Oh,
No way. What?
Uh,
We don't see this normally.
this is not something we see often.
Rare. Does that count as a screen?
Do we count this as two screens or one?
I mean, technically, it is a new screen.
It is. Depends on how they did it. Did they like change the background sprite, or is it like a actual like fucking code in the game's files? That's what matters. I think.
we, we remained frozen like that for a long time, during which we all must have been thinking about Ayla, Naomi, the Sekimeiya, and the culprit behind it all. The sound that resumed time's march came from one of us. We blankly faced it and saw Kate standing up, stretching his arms a little.
I'm going to the bathroom. With a faint but hoarse voice, showing that he hadn't cleared his throat in a while, he let us know his destination. Nobody responded to him, so he left through hallway A.
We turned our gazes back down as if nothing happened. What he had just done could have been considered suspicious behavior, but nobody said anything. The Sekimeiya was in its unlocked cabinet. However, it was kept cold, and Shiroya and Dai were in the possession of another one. Kate wouldn't be able to activate it to go substantially back into the past. All he could do would be to move it, leaving himself as the only suspect. At least, that's what I thought until another sound reached our ears. We'll go too, it's been a while.
Without paying attention to our reactions, Sai stood up and left through hallway B, which she'd been closer to. All of a sudden, the two most suspicious people had gone off on their own and they'd closed both doors behind them. It didn't change what I thought. They couldn't go back to the past. But we decided to ignore them and wait. It was a little strange that Sai had left right after Kate. Perhaps he was still wary of him and wanted to see what he'd gone to do. I thought further on it. Was the possibility of one of them going considerably back to the past truly something I could rule out? If everything was as we thought, yes, I'd be the one to put the Sekimeiya in its cabinet, and at that moment I had felt the cold temperature. After that, nobody entered the room. It wouldn't have been possible for anyone to unplug the cabinet or take the Sekimeiya out later. We remained on the floor, waiting for Kate and Sai to come back, as we kept every thought to ourselves. The atmosphere had suddenly become a lot more uneasy as soon as one of us left. As one of us had left. Erno, though, hadn't reacted to Sai's movements.
Hmm.
2 minutes passed without either of them returning. There was nothing alarming, but every second dragged on. I expected Katsu to come back first, so as I sat looking at the hallway door, considered how odd it was that he left through it.
Did the game crash? No, it did not.
After more than 5 minutes, I began to worry. I chose not to pointlessly voice my suspicion because of Isla's death, but Sai and Kate might have purposely abused that.
Game? I'll see if I can find them. I stood up and directed myself towards hallway B. I didn't want to be the third person to leave suspiciously, so I only intended to check if I could see anyone next to the bathrooms. Before I reached the doorknob, the opposite door opened. From behind came Kate, who quickly saw me and gave me a conspicuous frown.
Where are you going?
To see if I could find you inside. Why did you take so long?
I went to the bathroom, so that's not a very appropriate question. Did Sai go find me too?
No, he said he also go to the bathroom.
I see.
Did you not see him? Also, forgive me for asking all these questions, but why did you leave and come back from Alway Hay if you went to the bathroom?
Atsuki, do you not remember what's in the bathroom on this floor? I could have chosen to go to the women's, but I went to the one on floor 2 instead. That's likely why I didn't see Sai.
Alright.
Perhaps I jumped the gun too quickly. Even though Sai's long absence was still on my mind, he'd gone to a different bathroom, so he hadn't had to wait for it to become available.
Damn, Kati didn't go to the women's bathroom. No,
Nah, man,
Kati.
he's got too much respect.
No Kati trans reveal.
He has not played Umuneko yet, that's why.
I was what I was doing. I opened the hallway B door. I saw it devoid of anyone, with every door closed, including the bathrooms in the distance. I just noticed I tend to read very quickly while narrating.
Okay. I don't see anyone. It's almost been 10 minutes, so I'll try to find him.
Before I could leave, Shiroi stood up and came to me.
I'll help you. I just can't keep sitting there.
Alright. We shouldn't take too long. As Sai had
That's
done.
not. Oh, that's you. Sorry.
Yeah, that's 7.
Wow, I was right for once. As Sai had done, we closed the door behind us. I knew Shroy had spent plenty of time silently mourning our loss, so I understood her repeating it was unbearable. And I needed to occupy myself with something after sitting for so long, so she must have also agreed that Sai's behavior was off. He'd even openly accused her earlier, so her impression of him had to be poor. Let's check the event room first.
We headed. Actually, since Inferno's characters are no longer present for a while, Inferno, do
Yeah,
you want to take over
probably.
this?
Yeah, sure, why not? We headed there and verified that Sekimeiya was still present. I looked behind the cabinet and saw the cord plugged into the outlet too. Next, we moved to the bathrooms. Although the doors were closed, neither one was locked and Sai was inside. Imagine if they saw Sai naked in one of the bathrooms though.
Did they even bother knocking? I wonder.
So disrespectful.
I would have.
Uh,
It looks like he really
Yes.
took this chance to do something. He went to the bathroom above. Kate would have seen him.
Wait, I feel like he might have gone for the Sekimeiya that we have. It was the one he hid in the cleaning room.
Yeah, it's possible. He's probably somewhere on this floor.
Beginning with the hallway B rooms, we kept opening every door and briefly searching for him. We learned already which cabinets and interiors large enough to contain a person. After what happened to Isla, checking them was less due to routine and more so a necessity. We decided that there was no purpose in checking the Sekimeiya and Naomi's locker since we could have been seen and we didn't want to move it or activate it, and it was possible it wasn't working anyway. Troy sounded hesitant about the decision, but I also hadn't abandoned the thought of using it later, so at the very least, try to find out what had happened to Isla. Tasty water.
Water.
We entered a room,
Ooh, yummy.
made sure it was empty, and moved on to the next one.
Yeah, my mouse sucks.
Do you guys in
You suck.
Turkey have like how do I explain this? But like bottles now have kind of new caps.
New caps?
It's
Not
like
as we know.
it's like they're attached to the bottle in a way.
So you need to use
Oh, I
anything like
think
an opener?
no. I think he means like it's the sort of cap that you can't really take off.
Yeah, you can't really take off. I think it's because
Does it?
they're like trying to stop people from letting caps drop on the floor. I think
Can you give me a name of the one that you're drinking currently?
it's a Romanian brand.
Yeah, what's
What's
its
it
name?
called?
BOR
BOR
SEC.
SEC.
That's it.
Orsec Water. Orsec Water, Romania.
Now I have your IP address.
Okay, I have no idea what this is.
It's Borsec
Well,
water.
it doesn't really have.
Okay, I know what it is, but like I don't know what the cap is.
Well, these obviously have
Actually,
the
wait.
older caps probably on them.
Actually, should I take a picture?
I don't know. You
If you
can.
want.
Man, I want to try out this Borsec water though, Inferno. It looks cool. I like its packaging. If I ever come to Romania, I'm gonna drink water there. Uh, hmm. It's $5 for this water? Hold on. It's 132. Jesus Christ.
Alright, and I'm back. I took that picture.
Yay.
Oh, now I'm gonna post it.
It's expensive than. It's more expensive than 2.5 liters of Coca-Cola. Anyway, who's
Cock.
this?
Me, it's still me.
It is literally you.
I posted the image so you could see them.
Oh. Okay, that's weird. No, we don't have those. I've never seen that.
Some brands
You
have
don't?
them, I believe.
I've never seen it before.
I
I
have
was checking the
seen it on a very few, small number of brands, but there's not many of them. It's not quite sure.
I was just checking the cabinets in the room where we found the first Naomi. The interior of one of them immediately let me know something about it was different. Upon unlocking and opening its cover, a frigid burst of air hit my face. Kate had stated that the room contained the cabinets with temperature regulation functions. However, the previous times we opened them, no special temperature had been set. Charlotte noticed my reaction came to see me if anything was wrong. After the feeling cold air began to diffuse to the room, she checked the wheel of the right side of the cabinet. Zen, hello?
Oh, sorry. It's set to 0 degrees Celsius. Sorry, I forgot to say the Celsius part.
Very important.
True, true. Hmm. It had to have been changed recently. There's nothing inside, so that's pretty strange.
It was a different cabinet than the one when first traveled from it. I wasn't sure why it would be done since the second man had been put inside.
When we got the locker key from Naomi, it might have already been used like this. It might have already been like this, so we can't just suspect Sai and Kate.
So yeah, and we can't blindly believe Sai's story either. Regardless, whoever did this didn't let the others know, so we should probably revert the temperature.
Yeah, the culprit might count on this cabinet for later, if they change the temperature in preparation. If I switch the wheel to room temperature, we should be able to close the lid.
I know that, and she did so before we left the room. It wasn't clear if setting it to room temperature would make the inside of the cabinet match the outside, or if it would only stop the regulation, but leaving the lid open to not present the existing code could have alerted the culprit, and their measures had been reversed.
We proceeded
We
to the other
proceed.
rooms and resumed the search.
Seven,
No.
let him. Let him.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
because
forgot.
I don't have any characters.
I forgot.
We proceed to the other rooms to resume the search. We didn't want to waste much time or we become the suspicious ones. As soon as hallway B was done, we began with the parallel hallway. The first room we entered was the storeroom, continuing with our backward order. It was one of the smallest rooms on the entire floor. Its purpose was still a bit unclear. It wasn't storing anything that could have been used in the future. Given how small it was, we should have left it immediately, but Shura noticed something that prolonged our stay.
Wait, come here. Look at this part of the wall.
Shura, who had gone to the end of the dimly lit room, was pointing her finger at the place she wanted me to see.
Yeah, do you guys remember this textureless room? Bro forgot to install Counter-Strike Source.
Oh god, I wish somebody would make a mod. Gary.
Was pointing finger as a place she wanted me to see. I stepped in, making my way through the cluttered, narrow space. Then I looked beyond her finger, faintly illuminated by the single light. It took me a while to understand what she meant. She was pointing at the left corner, and after glancing up and down in search of anything out of place, I finally noticed the oddity she found.
Huh. How did you even notice this?
Skill.
Yeah, she's built different like that.
She really a sweep.
She really is sweet.
Shirley sucks.
That.
No, I'm kidding.
Okay. The wall was dirty and uneven, giving away its old age. You could still see the outline of a grid that separated the wall into tiny squares. They were all defined by white lines that had started to fade with time. On one of the squares that made contact with the left wall, Shiroi had seen the slight lack of dust which was otherwise present on every surface of the room. Every surface of the
Oh
room.
god, it's a secret
Even though,
tunnel.
even though the poor illumination made it hard to see, what seemed to be fingerprints existed on it. Not only that, but its close surroundings were a bit cleaner than the rest of the walls.
The door, I saw this area reflecting the hallway sea light a lot more. I don't know when, but it looks like someone touched this corner.
I suppose so. But
Someone was
I
stuck at
doubt
the
it means
corner and they
anything.
wanted to get out.
We can't even be sure it happened today. Hold on, these fingerprints. It's hard to see, but they're not vertical, right?
Yeah, they look horizontal.
You won't touch any wall with 3 fingers in this horizontal position accidentally.
I wouldn't think so. Just touching it would leave them vertical and more separated.
I shaped my hand to match the 3 fingerprints and placed it over them. My arm formed the right angle with the left wall, but it didn't make me understand the meaning of what we found.
I have no idea what you'd ever touch a corner of a room like this.
And it's clearly a secret passage. There's nothing important in this room either.
Huh? What? Huh?
As I removed my hand from the wall, I felt something.
Did something happen?
When I took away my hand, it seemed as if the square moved a bit.
I didn't see anything.
I pressed my finger on the square again, and instead of pulling away, I waved my hand around as if I thought it was a bit loose.
You're right. It's moving a little.
It didn't go anywhere though. I could only move it sideways and wouldn't get detached from the wall.
This must be why someone touched the spot, but it's not doing anything.
Will it move any more than that?
It was sliding side to side, almost imperceptibly. Realizing that I hadn't been applying enough force, I attempted to move it past its seeming limit. All of a sudden, as if it were a door, the wall opened, revealing a hidden space behind.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't like the sound. I don't like the song. This shit is about to go down.
Oh god. He cast by Shirk. What the fuck?
It's a hidden door?
I'd slid the moving space to the right. Before I could think, my hand had pushed open the entire wall. It was revealed to be very thin, and past it the corridor extended.
They even got secret passages in here? What is this place?
No light existed on the other side, but it seemed to lead to a narrow partition.
There's another door.
Yes, but it doesn't have a handle. At first I thought it was just another wall.
I tried to push it open, but it didn't move. Where a handle or a doorknob should have been, there were 2 round holes. A big one with a metallic piece inside and a smaller, empty one.
Someone here knows about this, right? Those marks have to mean someone opened this recently.
And no matter if they went through this door, the culprit could have easily escaped from us if they just hid here.
Why was something like this built in the first place?
Might have been part of Ashia's countermeasures to sin, but that means Kate would have to know about it.
I streamed that. There we go. I mean, no matter what it's for, there's no way he doesn't know about it, right?
That part. Yeah. Hold on. That part of the storm felt colder than the rest of the building, likely because of temperature regulation didn't reach it. Still awestruck, I kept examining the door.
I think there should be a handle here. When you remove the handle with a keyhole from the door, you're left with these holes. I think the small one is where the keyhole would be, and the bigger one is what connects the handle with the turning mechanism. Which means that this door can usually be unlocked with a key, but without a handle, we won't be able to open it even if we have the right one.
Oh, I guess someone could have unscrewed it on purpose to make sure it's never unlocked again.
Yeah, I have no idea what's through here, but if we can't find out, it looks like a sturdy enough door, so it won't open without the handle and the key.
I tried a few more times, but I didn't budge at all.
Akuro, smash!
Yeah, Ankuro Unga Bunga. Ankuro, big swirly man. He
Oh, God.
punched door.
Who is this?
Hey? Who is that? Give me a sec. Inferno,
Should
you
I?
can take this character. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. What the hell is going on? A 7-star reading, because now I have a character.
The sudden voice started us, and we turned out around instantly. Kate's silhouette was behind us, the single light only hill hitting his back. We found this
What,
hidden
Kate?
section behind a wall. Where does this door lead to?
You must be screaming with me. A hidden section? There's no way.
You're seeing it right now, did you not know about it?
No, I didn't know about it. What is this?
Whoa, look at it. Look at this. Good find, Atsuki.
7.
Oh, it's
7
me,
is
right?
still
I'm
legal.
stupid, I'm sorry. From behind Kate, another silhouette appeared. Without a doubt, this voice belonged to Sai. Shiraya found it, actually. Oh, you finally did something! Good job. Condescending attitude that's already resurfaced. He skittered over to us and began to examine the door.
2 more figures peeked in from the entrance. As they stepped in, the light revealed they were the last 2 remaining people, Akuro and Erina.
We were gonna search for you. Did you take this chance to sneak into your hideout? We actually found it while we were searching for you. So you tell us, where did you go? The bathrooms here were empty. They're all in a rush as soon as I go somewhere. I just went to the floor 2 bathrooms, since Naomi is still at this floor's.
Wait, what? No, you didn't. I was there. You definitely didn't come.
Alright, let's settle this quickly. Kate is lying. I was up there and he never showed up. I bet he already told you he'd gone upstairs, right? Now that I revealed I was there, he couldn't back out of his lies, so he chose to accuse me. That's Kate for you, know?
Yeah.
This is getting old. You guys can choose to believe me if you want, but he's only manipulating you.
Kate, we found a hidden passage, so stop trying to always be the center of attention. Let's be quick. Did you leave the bathroom's door open or closed?
Closed. I always close doors behind me when I leave an empty room.
Unfortunately, he's right. I closed the door, so take him up on his offer and believe me. Now look at this. Someone removed the keyhole from this door to prevent us from opening it.
I like how the game was like, oh, yep, well, there's a Kate and Sai argument session happening. Let's just quickly go over it so we can get to the better point.
Now look at this.
They know.
They really do know. It's a self-aware game. Now look at this. Someone removed the keyhole from the store to prevent us from opening it. Not only that, but the inner mechanism was broken too. This won't allow for a new handle to be inserted. Whoever the culprit is, they're likely still hiding somewhere, so they might be behind the store right now, which is how they keep avoiding to be found. Kate, be smart for once and tell us where this goes.
You heard me earlier. I was unaware of this hidden partition entirely.
You're awful at your job. Ashia must have constructed this for a reason, and it's impossible you weren't aware of it.
Do you guys, do you guys not think it might lead to the left side of the tower?
You mean outside?
Yes. The
Yes.
entire
That's it.
that should have been a yes. The entire corridor now stretches farther than the crystal rooms. I think it might extend far enough to reach outside.
That's some hope you're giving us. Kate didn't know about this door, so if it leads outside, the alarm shouldn't have blocked it.
That's right. I can assure that the alarm did not do anything to the door, to this door.
Someone did, though. The keyhole was removed, probably to prevent us from unlocking it with the key. Isn't that implying that one of us has it? Otherwise, the lock wouldn't be enough of a barrier. Nothing around here looks modern. If the door is old, the chances of picking the lock are high. Maybe it was done to prevent that. True, yeah. How did you spot the hidden opening, Shoya?
I saw some light reflecting off one of the tiles. Someone's fingerprints had removed some dust in the corner of the wall. That ended up being the way to open it.
Listen, then. This was recent. If this door leads outside, the culprit might actually have escaped with the handle. This building is situated at the outskirts of the town, so the sides out and the back are never seen by anyone in our empty, grassy fields. I'm sure the police are keeping watch outside, but probably only at the front, where the entrance and windows are. They shouldn't be aware of this door either, so escaping unseen could certainly be doable.
There's no way this leads out of the building. I've never seen the ally of a door from the outside, and there's no light coming from behind the door. It's absolutely impossible this kind of way out exists. The gaps are big enough to let light pass where the door is wider than it seems. Just think about it, though. Why would a secret passage be constructed? If they had something to hide in it, they wouldn't have another locked door past it. But just hide it in the secret passage itself, or this door wouldn't be here unlocked. In fact, I believe this patch is the secret itself. It must be hidden to not reveal and not reveal that this door leads outside. If the middle wall didn't exist, the length of the room would reveal it.
I believe you're right. This is what this partition is hiding.
So, we're a single door away from making it out? Can we break it down? Akuro smash!
Break it down, white boy sexual style. There's
Go,
no
white
way,
boy,
just
go.
Look at it. Whoever removed the handle knew very well we couldn't do that. I know this is bound to happen eventually, but you do realize that what will occur if we manage to force it open? We'll reveal that the Sekimeiya has time traveling powers. What kind of consequences will that have?
I don't know who this is, 7 go.
7 go.
This is so sad. Our dad was very inconsiderate, since Erna, who hadn't said anything in a very long time, was next to us. Our priority had to be making it out as soon as possible so that the police could understand what had happened to Isla. However, it would also completely invalidate the recording. Don't get me wrong, I'm not worried, Distance reads. How is it even remotely possible the Sekimeiya exists? How did it make it here without anyone finding out about its powers? These big picture questions are what I'm lost about.
Seven, read.
Fine, hold on, I forgot. I hit the door, and as the sound echoed heavily throughout the corridor, I repeated that a few times, trying to be as loud as I could and intending to be heard from the outside.
Nobody will come. I refuse to believe this lead outside. I'm more inclined to think the culprit is currently behind this door listening.
Is there nothing else we can do? Sliding anything through the gaps, for example?
What a letter. We're too far from the entrance to be heard, and I doubt anyone is currently looking at this side. Regardless, the gaps are way too thin, probably to hide the door's existence from the outside.
It was incredibly frustrating. We might have found an exit that the alarm hadn't affected, but the culprit had made sure to finish the job. Had it been in case we found a moving wall, or for a deeper reason.
And how did the culprit know about it but not Kate? Why was it here? Why is it there in the first place? Not only did the door lock us inside, but also produced even more questions. Being defeated, we left what had become a narrow, dim corridor to return to the wider but still dark hallway. I thought something was noteworthy. Even though a perfect hiding spot existed, the Sekimeiya had never been hidden in it. Why? All it had been hidden in the storeroom. That might have meant that the person who'd done it hadn't been aware of the movable wall. We ignored the little fight between Sai and Kaji, but there were many layers to it. One of them was lying and it was nothing new, as they surely lied more than once already. The fact that one of them had taken advantage of the situation with Al attacked on their own, though, proved that they weren't to be taken lightly. In addition, one of them could have easily been responsible for the coal cabinet Joy and I had returned to normal.
The
Mindlessly,
duality of Sekimeiya narration. Some scenes have 80 lines, some scenes have one line.
True.
mindlessly, we went to the event room. It didn't have anything new to tell us, and as the Sekimeiya was still present behind the glass.
So it has moved. It's clear that either side Kachi didn't go to the bathroom earlier, so they must have had some other business.
Good thought. Tell us, Kate, what business did you have that justified lying to us?
It's time to put an end to this. Sai won't stop lying as much as he pleases, so we'll have to wait until the security footage reveals all of his actions. Bro really just regurgitating the same fucking lines he said 17 times at this point.
Say, do you really believe the footage will be salvaged even though the cameras are recording? Is it really being saved somewhere?
Of course, the computer isn't detecting the system, but as soon as that's solved, I'll have access to all the stored footage. The gibberish happens to you be able to roam freely without consequences?
No, but I have trouble swallowing that. The culprit made sure to cut our access to the system, but why would they do that if Ashia will come in and be able to look at what happened? That's not at all what they did, though. At the same time, our only method of communication was removed. I believe the reason that entire thing was to prevent us from conveying what's happening whilst it was still here. It's possible that once we get out, the culprit won't care about Ashia finding out what happened. I try to make that sound interesting, but it's idiotic. They were able to keep the power off the computer, but it turned back on 30 minutes later. So why didn't they choose to keep it off forever? Most likely, the reason they let us use it again was because they made sure that the recordings wouldn't be accessible. Additionally, it let us know that somehow they managed to disable our communication method. So to be honest, even though the cameras are still functional, I find it hard to believe what's being recorded will ever be seen. And there is no way the culprit would be fine with being seen once we get out. So if you can't access the system, it's dubious Ashia or the police will be able to.
I feel it might be right. It will also explain why they keep putting themselves in front of the cameras.
Now I understand I'm repeating myself, but wouldn't you think that the security staff member among us
Among Us.
Among Us. Hey, hey Peter, I'm in Among Us.
Peter, I'm in Among Us, Peter.
among us completely avoided giving us information, has lied multiple times, and could have had convincing knowledge of the secret passages, is the most likely candidate to have orchestrated this.
That's enough, Sai.
He's
That all you have to
pissed.
say? Of course, your excuse of the security cameras will prove that I'm right runs out. You have no arguments to defend yourself with.
Who is this?
7 go.
Oh my god. It seemed the discussions between those two wouldn't cease until one was proven wrong definitively. I knew that Sai wasn't any less of a liar than Kate, but if that hadn't been the case, I would have
Guys.
quickly sided with him.
What?
It's time for the 10-minute break. My computer broke. I have to restart it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back. Give me a
Let's
second.
save the game. funny.
We will die.
Alright, gamers, stream break 10 minutes.
And then we'll probably play for 10 more minutes. And then leave.
It would be pretty funny.
It would be quite funny.
No, that's not what we're looking for. That is the wrong ass link, bruh. This is the saddest moment of my life.
Opera GX ile tanış. Biz gamerlar için özel olarak tasarlanmış yeni bir...
This is not what I want. Okay, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna be right back.
Alright.
Inferno?
Yeah.
Where did Zen go?
He said his computer died or something.
Well, he's still not here.
Oh yeah, because his computer died.
But why is it taking so long?
I don't know.
Well, the good news is, I was only gone for exactly 7 minutes.
That is quite funny.
It is quite cunning.
Cunning. Whoa.
Whoa, cunning. Whoa.
Sigs.
That's kind of funny. Cute and funny.
Cute and funny.
Cool. I made it unnecessarily wide. This is great.
What did you make unnecessarily wide?
The Nero strut video.
Oh.
Check the stream. I put it on loop. Before I left. Inferno Gay Fire?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. I finally took care of Inferno Gay Fire. Now no more LGBTQ famed Toho gaming members will be able to distract me from killing shadows. Oh God. Inferno Gay Fire? Zen Arrow Adam 321. Bye Hollow.
Bio.
Image.
Queer fat.
Queer Rexy, more like sexy.
Sexy.
You know what I did in the past 7 minutes? I lay down
What?
a little bit, drank some water, and that's it.
Okay.
I need to just, I guess, reset my sanity. Welcome back then.
Yeah,
Welcome
give me 1
back.
second. Where you been? Give me 1 second. I have to get a cup of tea. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
He needs a cup of tea.
He needs a cup of tea.
Wait, my wanker, what's all this then, eh? We're gonna drink some tea, mate. I think Nero has been wide for long enough. Let's just return her to her former appearance. Right now?
Yeah.
Why are you gay? Why
That's
are
a
you
good
gay?
question.
How does he say? He's like, why are you gay? Right?
Yeah. I know the meme. I don't know how it goes
I
though.
try to like pronounce it the way he is.
Why are you gay?
Why are you gay? I am not gay. You are gay.
Are you a transgender?
The best news fucking broadcast or some shit. The best TV program ever made.
So true.
I would love to participate in that. What is it, like Nigerian television or some shit? What was it?
I think.
I want to participate in that television before. I'm gonna be like the chicken breast experts 707.
Chicken breast expert.
Professional simp. Internet meme historian. Anime titties expert.
Animated is expert.
You know, that kind of like fucking profession, like qualification to be interviewed on a television. You see, I've translated this funny little card game inspired from Slay the Spire once, but it's not actually translated. I've been putting it off for like 15 years. Mr. Naruhodo.
Miss Naruhodo.
Mr. Naruhodo. Do I still have Denver? I do. Denver is back. Inferno.
Yeah.
I have found some cool stuff that you might be interested in seeing. I
How
found
cool
the
is
old
it?
stuff. Check the stream. I found the old stuff. Look at Zen. I found Denver.
I don't have the stream.
Oh god, he's so.
Like I don't know where you.
Wait, you didn't know this whole time? Damn.
No, I don't know where you stream it. Like I don't know the Twitch channel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There you go. What is he cooking? When I'm a GBF Fire Emblem character, I'm trying to jack someone up, but I land a critical. So
I am returning from my lawn.
Zen, check what you look like, please, on the
Oh.
screen. Keyword being Denver, of course.
Oh god.
I'm back.
You're Denver.
Welcome back.
You're not back, you're Denver.
I'm not Denver.
You are Denver.
Okay.
I love the nearest strut.
Same. I put it on loop before I left it spin there ever since.
Gaming?
Gaming indeed. Time to
I'll
shut this one out.
Game.
Alright. Zen, do you want me to take the bus off?
What do you mean?
I said Denver,
Yes.
did you not get it?
He doesn't know.
He
No.
doesn't know. Check the stream.
No, I'm too lazy.
This is
I'm
so
drinking
sad.
coffee
You know what? I'm
right
not gonna take it off
Yep.
then. Fuck
Drinking-
it.
Okay,
Right.
okay, you know how Susato had like a bus on the stream?
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
I put the bus back on your face.
okay, put it back down then.
Okay. Let me get rid of the gun too. Okay. We're back to normal. We're back to normalcy, everyone.
I'm gonna put some music on myself. Who's this?
I don't know.
7, go.
Oh my god. We're doomed. Okay.
Toho Komakyo.
Toho for men.
Toho for men.
Team Fortress 2. That's Toho for men. Hold on, where is that gif? I found it. Inferno. Milkies. Tasty. Anyway, we'll continue. It seemed the discussions between those two wouldn't cease until one. I already read this. Screw you guys.
Why don't we stop at this and wait until we can leave? Surprisingly, it was Erna who tried to calm them down. Her voice came out like the wind whistling on dried leaves.
That's easier to say, but Kade will just take advantage of that again.
Hey Seven.
What?
Hey Seven. You know, I know something very funny.
Mhm.
I actually know like the artist name who drew that heavy GIF you posted.
It's actually engineer, but can you send them?
Engineer who?
Can you send them their Twitter for me? I will give them a message of thanks for their work.
Yeah, sure.
Like, how close are you with that artist, though?
No, I only like. No, as in like when I said I know them, as in like
Pluck them like once or
I
something?
as in like I know who they are, but they're like I'm not like one of their friends or something.
Oh, okay. Send me their Twitter. I will thank them personally for making such great art.
That's great.
I was just saying, like, if I could
Hmm.
draw this, I would be like perfectly like satisfied. All right, I would like not even sweat about like improving or anything. I would just be like, damn, I'm so good.
Damn, I'm so good.
No matter who's in the right, someone is guilty. Although we don't know who it is. Can't we lock ourselves up in one place so they can't move around freely?
Is anyone opposed to that? Technically, only the culprit should have a problem with it.
Was that if that was what Ariel wanted, I attempt to make it happen. She won't avoid any more tragedy and only intended to wait for external help. Locking ourselves up? Isn't that going a bit too far?
Why would it be? It implies that we're all being sincere, and if something happens while we're staying somewhere, it means the culprit was never one of us.
Could we even do that if we want to? I doubt it. We can lock the bathrooms, but they're not big enough for all
Bro,
of
there's
us.
the attic. Just go to the attic. There's like beds there. Come on, let's all just like lay down, chill a little bit. Whatever, dude. Let's get some fucking sleep.
100% maximum no chill.
Are there no other places?
What about the security room? Didn't Kante have a key for it?
We won't be able to lock ourselves in there. From the inside, the lock can be undone with just the doorknob.
What
But
about
that's
the
so
lobby?
bad! That's so bad though!
You guys don't have to lock yourselves in, by the way. You can just
Stay together.
go to somewhere and stay there. Yeah.
What about the lobby? The hallway doors are locked until 9 o'clock. Isn't that right?
They aren't. Permission to move ahead is simply not granted until that time. They can be locked though, but I don't have the keys.
We do this, we'll have to commit to it. Locking ourselves in a place with a key to unlock it doesn't prove anyone's sincerity, since they could leave any time they wanted.
But that's all we can do if we manage to find the right keys. We won't be able to lock ourselves inside and leave the key out because the doors won't close if the deadbolt is set. Is that what's called a deadbolt?
Deadbolts.
Deadpool.
Deadbolt. Deadbolt.
Are you all forgetting about the attic bedrooms? We saw they had a keyhole, one had a working chain, and they are spacious
Shiroya,
for
bringing it up. Sorry.
Thank
and
you,
they're
Shiro.
spacious.
Thank you, Shiro. This is why you're my favorite character.
Shiro, shut the fuck
True.
up.
And they're
But
spacious for all of us. Could they work?
Would it be run into the same problem?
I turned around and after staring at the door for
I
a
was
short
about to
time,
say
I...
something else.
Oh. I spoke.
I don't think so, actually. I can think of a difference that would let us lock ourselves up without being able to leave.
As long as let me know that nobody could oppose me, I began to walk until I thought of a question to ask.
Does anyone have the cabinet key? If we're gonna stay put, let's make sure to lock the cabinet too and keep the key with us. It's possible a duplicate is possessed by the culprit, but there is nothing that actually proves that.
7.
Oh, once again, nobody said anything.
If not, it has to still be where I left it, on top of that bed in the attic.
Let's see if it's still there then.
We took the stairs up. The elevator had already been out of commissions for a very long time, and it was better to keep it like that, as it has caused us, as it had caused us a few headaches during the short time it worked. Hehe.
It's actually still here. Good.
Logic enough, the key has been taken while everyone had a chance. I picked it up and glanced at the door. I insisted with it a little. It appeared to be double cylinder lock, meaning that to unlock it, the key would be in from each side, as opposed to the security room's lock.
It's going to work. We won't have to lock it either.
It's not going to work.
Even if it did, it would be very boring if the rest of the game was just us stuck in a small room together.
How?
You just have to imagine, because now the game is going to become Kate and Sai arguing 24/7.
Yeah, but that'd be based.
Literally, though.
It would not even be close. Oh god. This game brings me
I went ahead.
wish.
I went ahead and looked through the drawers I inspected earlier. First, I took out the key from the room.
Well, we'll have to leave this outside. Now, I'll say how we can technically do this, but it's not exactly a smooth way.
The second thing I took out of the drawer was a screwdriver. Immediately, what I thought of had been inspired by the screw door we just found.
Removing a handle is incredibly easy. We can take it out, leave it outside, and close the door. Since we'll be unable to turn it, even though the door will be unlocked, we won't be able to open it. That's the difference. That's the big difference with this door. As the handles of the crystal floor don't have visible screws to attach. Since the keyhole since the keyhole isn't on the handle itself, we would need to leave the key outside. Otherwise, we could still get the door open by inserting the key and turning it. Even though the lock wouldn't be set, it would act as a turn of a handle, and the door still could be dragged open. On top of that, we can remove the outer handle as well, so that a culprit can't easily make their way. This is fucking stupid, bro. So, we are doubting not the fact that we will ever get out in the first place because of because of the recording, which Otsuki knows about, right? And on top of that, despite the fact that there's a clear risk of us literally never being rescued, we are deliberately locking ourselves in a position that we can't leave by ourselves.
Yeah, that's become an impossible paradox considering Isla's now dead.
Well, it doesn't have to be, because here's the thing. The Isla that we hear in the recording is from the past, in the sense that the Isla we hear in the recording is younger than the Isla we find in the closet. That one could still have returned from very far into the future. It's
but
really fully confirmed.
Sekimeiya doesn't send people to the future, meaning that if that were the case, there would be a Isla with us in this building right now that we haven't found.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe Isla is on the other side of that door, for example.
I don't think Isla is on the other side of the door. I think Isla is dead, and I don't know. I don't know enough to say.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I feel as though if Isla's gonna be anywhere, she's going to be on the other side of that secret passage. And the Isla we found dead is going to be very far ahead from the future, who was brought back in time using the Sekimeiya. I don't know. The point being, then, that even if, that future is now invalidated, that does not mean that Ashia, wants to open the doors and rescue us. So there's a very real chance that we'll actually be stuck here for more than a month. And, being in that one room for an entire month is not going to be very healthy for us, I assume. This is fucking dumb.
No, because your whole basis off that is from the recording, which we now deem to be invalid.
Well, we deemed it invalid because Isla is dead, but that doesn't mean that, Ashia still wants to let us out.
Yeah, but the whole basis of that argument is found, based on the recording, but the recording is now an impossibility.
That is true. What I'm ultimately saying is that even if the recording doesn't work, it's still a fucking terrible idea because, again, it's, it's uncertain. We just know too little. I would still keep
People,
it safe.
the only thing that doubted us from like the only thing that doubted us not being able to leave this place in the next 12 hours was the recording. But the recording is now invalid.
I think we're
So there is
repeating
no reason not. Yeah, but I'm saying there's no reason to not. There's no reason to doubt them realistically now.
whatever.
At the-
Even if, even if this whole like not being able to get out thing is like, not real, why lock the door and make it like impossible to get out? Just like stick together, dude. It's not that hard.
That part I agree with.
It's like too much.
There's no reason to lock the door.
Yeah, there's like no.
But I
reason
guess
for them
it's
to do
I
it.
guess it's so that if the culprit is not somebody from the group, then they can't force their way. Well, they would have to force their way in to do something.
Well, if the culprit truly wanted to kill them, wouldn't they have done it already? I don't think the aim of the
Well,
culprit
they-
is to kill everyone.
Well, that's what you thought, and then Isla died.
Well, I feel as though the culprit is like trying to prevent us from learning the truth of this like whole case, but they're not actively trying to kill us because they could just like, I don't know, instead of releasing something like the normal guys, they could release something toxic into the building and slowly kill us if they wanted to. What I'm trying to say is, I think the people who are killed are people who are effectively making it harder for the culprit to remain like fucking hidden. I don't think the culprit is actively looking to kill everyone in the whole building. I don't know though. Let's just keep going.
Why not?
Because if the culprit really wanted to just like kill everyone, they could just take out like 2 fucking pistols, bang 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 everybody on the fucking face, and then be done with it.
Kate's a security guard. He would have a gun.
He would. That doesn't really contradict anything I said.
You would get into a firefight.
You could just take out Kate first, and then kill the others later. And because he would, you could like just ambush him or something, do like a surprise attack. But he's not
Which you
as-
can't
yeah.
do when he's here.
Whatever. I'm not gonna argue about this. It's gonna take like 20 fucking hours. Finally, even though we'd hide a key outside, if a culprit found it and wanted to enter, they couldn't do it. They could find the key and open the door like I just described. We can set the chain from the inside. But if we do this, the door shouldn't be opened until the police enter the building. There's no way it'll be broken down.
Who is this? It's not me.
7 go.
Fucking hell. Nobody was sure what to say. Personally, I knew that it meant giving up on understanding the Sekimeiya's mechanics. But after what happened to Isla, it was clear that something terrible could come out of it.
You must be joking. This is actually a special place, and we're currently being recorded. Do you understand what will happen if they see us ripping the handles apart?
Honestly, who cares? It'll be easy to reattach them. We have size watch, so we could do that right as the door opens. But unfortunately, we'll have to leave the handles out of the room, or else we could leave at any point. This reminds me, what time is it? It's been a while since the last time I checked it.
With a brief sigh indicating that he wasn't fond of my proposition, Sai turned his wrist. I looked at his watch and saw that it displayed 14:56.
Almost 15. I see. We're past the halfway point, so with all that's happened, let's spend the last 6 hours calmly until the police enter, and we can have a better understanding of what's been going on.
It was an easy way to finally test the recording. If, after we waited those last 6 hours, nothing happened, we'd have a long discussion about it. This is what I wanted. Thank you.
I feel like that there could be like a movie about this visual novel, and I think it could like actually work. Like a movie.
Sure, yeah, I would watch it.
I wouldn't.
Why not?
Why not? Do you want to see the Kate stare in real life?
Bro, that would
Sekimeiya
mean the
live
voice.
action would go kind of hard.
Bro, imagine like the guy who plays Kati into the like 50-minute, not 50, like 30-minute exposition.
Yeah.
True.
So
Like,
many,
hear
so many
me out.
things.
You go first, son.
Go ahead.
Okay, I was about to say, Netflix takes up the Sekimeiya, does a Sekimeiya live action. Psy is black.
True.
Oh my god.
They would do that.
Alright, Inferno, go. I
Me?
summon Inferno in reading position.
Erena's gratitude was the ultimate deciding factor. We lock ourselves away from the Sekimeiya, ensuring that its powers won't influence our peaceful wait. Hopefully, it will also be preventing the culprit's pen from moving along.
I'd go lock the Sekimeiya cabinet myself, but we're trying to act together by doing this. Let's avoid separating now and creating chances to prepare anything. Any objection?
Sai and Kate rolled their eyes, but they kept quiet. If we were alone, since both Sekimeiyas would be locked in place as well, nobody could use
They're
them.
sad because they can't have sex in private anymore. We're all together.
Everyone looked uncertain, and Sai looked a bit sad. He made it obvious he was enjoying his time at the tower, so he might have gone from thinking that he had another 6 hours to play with the time travel device to realizing that it was already over. It's Jover.
It's so Jover.
Who's this?
Read why boy read.
I'm asking
This-
the questions. I called you. Anyway, we entered the event room and saw that the Sekimeiya hadn't moved. I made sure the glass was properly adjusted and I manually locked it. From that point on, the only key that I could have, the only key that I had could open it. So, I possessed the keys to both Sekimeiya. Regarding the locker key, I'd have to surreptitiously leave it somewhere in the bedroom after waiting a while. That way, anyone could have had it.
Finally, we went up again. We'd just gone through the staircase 18 times, so we were pretty exhausted. Really? I guess. Okay, sure. The idea of waiting calmly in a bedroom with 3 big beds started to sound slightly more pleasant.
We'll be here for 6 hours, so it's...
I hate this goofy ass song, by the way. What is this song? What is this
Dango.
goofy ass song?
You know
This
what?
is the worst song in the game.
I don't know if you remember this, but there was like one Reddit post about this guy like having sex with his girlfriend to the beat of a terrible song. Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? It was like I don't know. The girl like left him just because of a song he kept playing.
No, I don't. I
Red,
don't think
I think Red sent me. Red told me about it. I think Red would remember. I don't know.
This is exactly what I mean by like there is no middle point for Sekimeiya songs. It's either good or it's this. It's the same melody that's repeating. Dun, 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 dun. What is the song?
It's not
Bro,
fucking.
it's
It's not
not-
fucking music. It's like fucking factory sounds.
It sounds
That's what it
like.
sounds
You know what this reminds me?
What is it?
It reminds me of this one Persona 1 song that they kept playing the PSP version. Persona 1.
I played
All I can
I
say
didn't
is
play
that
it.
the
I watched
Sekimeiya
it.
core is my least favorite music genre.
True.
We'll be here for 6 hours, so it's the right time to use the bathroom. Is it me?
Hold on. I think. Did I find it?
I think it's
find
you.
We were waiting for him to find something.
Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
Aha! This is what it reminds me of.
Let's see. No, not at all.
Yeah, but like. It keeps playing. It's just like this song. Like, they always seem to play it.
I played. I didn't. I watched this game and I don't remember the
I
song.
found
really.
it. I found the Reddit post. Hold on, Inferno. Take a look. You gotta take a look at this.
Hold on. My 23 girlfriend, 2 years old, told me the music that 25 male, play 26 is weird and major turn on.
The actual
Okay,
song's at
okay.
the bottom.
Okay, let's continue the second man and then I'll read it.
No, just like, listen to like the first 10 seconds of the song. I think you'll remember it.
The song itself. What is this song?
Sekimeiya OST.
True though.
Are we ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ready. Is it my time? Is it my turn to read?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's somebody's. I forget. What.
Sekimeiya OST be like distorted robot dolphin sounds.
7 read.
7 Gyo.
Okay. No, it was you, Inferno, who was reading this.
No, it wasn't me. I didn't read the top thing.
Okay, then it was Zen.
Oh, it was me actually. Yeah, it was me.
Oh.
I just realized because I said something about the staircases 18 times. Yeah, I just realized I looked at that. Once inside, we'd have no way to exit, so everyone made sure to prevent a future disaster. All of us went to the bathroom one at a time, and we were set. Sai spoke, and Sai said, "Atsuki, you look like the yellow M&M today."
Oh my god.
Could Oski dodge a battle axe? That is.
God, it doesn't matter if I don't know the solution to the Sekimeiya. Kate comes with a battle axe, boom, I dodge that shit.
That's Sai. That's Sai speaking right there. Sure, if we're gonna do this, let's do it well. We're dealing with a culprit who has teleported and gone back in time before, so regardless of whether they're one of us or not, we need to keep that in mind. We need to make sure the door won't be opened no matter what, but a single key can ruin that.
You went to grab the bedroom key that I'd left on top of the drawers.
Kate, are you sure the new key in the other bedroom won't work?
I said it earlier, they're not interchangeable. Sai moved from one room to the other and came back with the key for the neighboring bedroom.
You're right. They're different. It doesn't fit.
He attempted to insert the wrong key into the door's keyhole, but it only went halfway in. He went to return it and closed the door behind him once he came back to the hallway.
Now, there have been instances where we thought that the Sekimeiya might have teleported. The first time was when it appeared in the storeroom. Recently, it appeared inside the cabinet next to Ayla. Oski and Shiroya could have put it there, but they didn't. It might have teleported itself. It's not at all a random location either, so if it was part of the culprit's plan, there's a chance that they understand how to exploit this self-teleportation. It's more likely that they moved it themselves, but keep this in mind. If that's what happened, they must have traveled from the future because we'd inspected the whole building before that point. If we're gonna stay here and move until the end, that means that none of us will have the chance to go back in time and move the Sekimeiya. The main 4 possibilities are: the culprit isn't one of us and we keep missing them. The Sekimeiya teleported there randomly. The culprit made the Sekimeiya teleport without touching it. One of us will go back to the past after spending 6 hours here. No matter which one is right, before we lock ourselves away, we need to thoroughly inspect this bedroom. Both levels. If a Sekimeiya is ready here, the imprisonment won't mean anything for a culprit, as they could leave at any time after making sure nobody else is in range. However, a key would do the trick too, and we've seen that replication. Some way has occurred. We found 2 identical suitcases and 2 nowadays.
You didn't even mention it, but even though I hadn't seen both at the same time, 2 Sekimeiya had to have existed too, at least at one point.
Searching for an extra key to this bedroom might sound paranoid since nothing indicates it exists, but it's necessary. If we ignore these precautions, we're leaving a potential way for the culprit to escape at any time. They have higher knowledge of the Sekimeiya than we do, so nothing tells us that they wouldn't be able to obtain a key they knew they'd later hide. Use it to escape, go back to the past, and preemptively hide the replicated key inside knowing we'd lock ourselves in here. Yeah, our intention is to be safe in here, so let's search around beforehand.
You're saying be safe, but at the same time, you and Psych keep implying that one of us is the culprit. They might have already killed 3 times, so if what we're doing goes against their plan, instead of escaping in this fancy, ridiculous way, wouldn't they just kill us?
I wouldn't say they have an easy time of it. Let's see. Culprit, if you're actually here, we're gonna lock ourselves up in this room for 6 hours. If you intend to at some point, kill us to continue with your plan. Hurry up and do it now before you need to deal with breaking the door down.
Inferno.
Nobody moved, but it was clear that we all had our guard up. If the culprit was around and didn't care about killing us if they had to, the right call would likely be to start after we are locked inside so that nobody could run away.
It's not like anyone has really spoken up against this plan, right? Might even be that by staying here, we're not at all doing something inconvenient for the culprit. In any case, it's undeniably safer than continuing to roam around. What the
7.
fuck is an SOH?
A sewage.
Make an unpleasant feeling less intense. Similar words. Relieve, ease, alleviate, soothe, mitigate, dampen, allay, calm, palate, abate, full, temper, suppress, smother, stifle, subdue, tranquilize, mollify, moderate, modify, tone down, attenuate, dilute, lessen, diminish, decrease, reduce, lower, put an end to, put a stop, to take the edge of, kill, lenify, satisfy, fully, fulfill, gratify, appease, indulge, relieve, slake, satiate, quench, quell, overcome, check, dull, blunt, allay, take the edge off, diminish. Okay. That seems to SOH. Hold on.
Oh my god.
Sewage. It's SOH. I can read phonetic alphabet. That seems to SOH occur as worries. The 6 of us went to the upper section of the bedroom to inspect it. I used that time to prevent something really bad from happening, as science and systems had made me realize something else was to come. The space was small, so we shortly determined that there were no keys anywhere. Okay, so this is then.
We repeated the process below, and once again it seemed nothing had been preemptively hidden, revealing that nobody had already attempted to outsmart us.
We're ready then. Don't be silly, we're missing the most important part. What do you mean? We need to search everyone. Somebody could currently have the key. Oh shit.
Inferno.
He's kind of right.
Guys, we're
Of course,
fucked.
that's it. Why?
Bro, we had the key for Naomi's locker. We hit the
And
second
we'll
key
be
in there.
Worst case scenario, we'll just throw it in the dumpster when we're leaving, if that's what, very scared about.
The Sekimeiya.
Yeah, he's saying it. The key to Naomi's locker that I kept on myself was likely about to be found, he says. Anyway, read Inferno.
Yeah. Shiro must have been aware of it too. As soon as I found myself in that vulnerable situation, there was nothing I could have done without being seen. I only managed to prepare a risky trip before we got on the ladder and already begun to run through possible excuses while foolishly regretting not having hidden in the bathroom.
When we were up top, I made sure nobody had the funny idea of leaving anything hidden for later. I'm very sure that, right now, both sections of this bedroom don't contain anything the culprit has already left. I'll begin.
I showed us the contents of everyone's pockets, hip pack, and shoes. Hey, yo, Saifi! He held the original key to the bedroom, but he'd been gripping it since before we started to look around. However, he took something else from one of his back pockets.
This is the key to my house and my identification. And this is the ticket for today's event. I have nothing else on myself. Let's all do the same. Hold on, you don't mean to say that proves you're clean, do you? My objection has a
7.
reason behind it. That method of showing we didn't possess anything was very disadvantageous for me. Even though letting them find my key wouldn't have been the worst, Shiroya and I would become very suspicious, and if anyone realized what the key was for, they would all see the Sekimeiya in the locker. Furthermore, I did bring back the commotion Erna had been trying to eliminate. This is why I took the single chance I believed I had. Now, of course, do you want me to get naked?
Please?
Pretty please? You said it earlier. If we're gonna do this well, let's do it well. You could have a key under your clothes, yes, but you don't have to under.
Goddamn naked sprite incoming.
Let's go!
Let's go!
See you then.
I walked up to him and started undressing. And like a security agent, I began patting his body from top to bottom.
Now you can say you're clean. Oh, thank God, I was gonna do this too, don't worry. Let's continue with you then. Just want to make sure. That's fine, since you won't find anything. Oh, you know
I
what's
immediately
gonna
knew... Yeah, I think he put the, key on him, right? That's what I was thinking, at least.
No. Well, what's gonna happen is Sai is going to start checking his body. He's gonna notice the key, and he's gonna not say anything about it.
Maybe, we'll see. I immediately knew that I had sounded a little off. It had been on purpose, though, to set the expectation that nothing would be found on myself. As such, when he got to the right pocket of my hands, he looked at me with a frown, noticing that I had been incorrect, man.
Oh.
I took that brief moment of surprise to take out what he'd felt from my pocket.
Oh, right, I'd forgotten I kept this key here.
With two fingers, I was going with the Sekimeiya cabinet key. I moved aside and placed it on top of the drawers.
I'll leave it here. We need to lock ourselves inside with it, as I said before.
Trying to appear nonchalant, I walked back and told Sai to continue. Like I'd done to him, he finished checking the lower part of my body.
Okay, you're clean too. Kate, do you mind being next?
I took a deep, discreet breath. Shiroya had been fixing her eyes on me, but I attempted not to meet them. I
Oh,
stepped
does
back
Shiroya
and
have to have
started my
Naomi's
plate.
key?
Maybe we swap it or something? I don't know.
I moved to Shiroya's side. She was probably wondering if I'd already gotten rid of the key. Later, without being hurt, I have to tell her that I'd done. Despite how things seemed, it was still located in my right pocket.
Before going up the ladder, I thought that I only had one way to avoid being found out. I would have been easily noticed if I attempted to leave the key somewhere. Taking advantage of the fact that I also had the cabinet's key, and that it was a bit bigger, I put the lockers which had been in my back pocket in the same pocket as my cabinets. To that point, I devoted keeping both together so that I wouldn't produce metallic noises as I walked. Since the locker key was small, I purposely put it horizontally behind the cabinet so the side press his hand on it only notice the bigger shape at the front. Fortunately, I had been able to abuse his minor surprise by taking out the cabinet key and leaving the smaller one inside. When the body inspection has proceeded, he'd already assumed the right pocket was clean and hadn't checked it again. What's this? Well, I looked up, so I was feeling one of Kai's bulges, and it appeared that he'd found something inside. That time it was Sai who put his hand in the inventory yet again. A key.
Ah, right, I also forgotten I had this. What I recognized it too was the old looking key we found on the floor in hallway A.
Didn't you say you'd keep it somewhere safe?
I forgot, but don't worry, my pocket is plenty safe. What's this?
Who the fuck was reading this?
Inferno.
I think,
Me?
Yeah?
Oh. After seeing it, I decided to put the key back in. In the next box, he found something else. For the third time in a row, they were keys.
Kinda sus.
These four as well. One is for the bathrooms, another one is for the security room. This one opens my locker in the staff room. This one is for the door leading to floor 2. Suddenly, I finished inspecting without.
What?
What?
Where is my Sekimeiya?
You minimize the application.
Oh, that's weird. Okay, is it normal now? I checked OBS
Yeah.
for like 1 second.
Okay. Suddenly, Sai finished inspect without finding anything else. Still unsatisfied, he took out all the keys once again and attempted to insert them into the door's keyhole.
Interesting. They don't work. You're done then.
I gave the keys back to Kati before the next person could be examined. I voiced the thought.
That first key. Could it be for the hidden door we found?
I just thought the same thing. Both have this feeling of being fairly old, and there's no other door in this building that does.
Huh? You might be right, actually.
Got the cottage. We thought the carpet might have dropped in a hurry. If that's what happened, that could be the reason why we had to remove the handle. But the key spent a long time on the floor, so I wonder why didn't they retrieve it before we found it? Because at some point they must have already left the suitcase in hallway C.
7.
Alright, it's me. We went quiet at the mention of the suitcase. We'd more or less assumed that Nomi had left it there, but we weren't sure anymore. You're right, maybe they want to avoid every possibility of being spotted and didn't want to step into hallway A. The fingerprints you saw, are they clear enough to be useful? If the police can figure out who they belong to, that could be the path to a new culprit. I'm not sure. The clear ones were all replaced by mine. But there might have been some more around because you need to push the wall in order to open it. I see. The culprit doesn't raise them upon realizing that we found them. Some should still remain. If they're one of us, the fingerprints won't mean anything since it won't be provable that they were left before we found the door. Yes, there is one more thing too. When we discovered the secret door, my first thought was that someone must have bypassed our searches by hiding there. However, even though the light wasn't very bright, what Shroya and I initially saw were 3 distinguishable fingerprints. I don't think any were overlapping. I mean the door that's been recently opened only once. From hallway A, maybe. If it was only opened once, it's likely that someone who went there to hide all the times we searched, unless they spent hours inside. That would maybe indicate it wasn't one of us though. Huh. I suppose they could have used the Sekimeiya to teleport inside without opening the wall, but that doesn't sound likely. Anyway, who's next?
Shiroya volunteered. Nothing was found in her clothes. Her purse was almost empty and only contained a wallet. Though the 3 tickets we'd bought for the event, our personal identification to match the tickets, and the key to my house. Akira was next. In the same way, his inspection was handled quickly. And once again, personal keys, his identification, and his own entrance ticket were all found on him. It wasn't surprising, as the same kind of body search would have been performed before entering the tower.
Alright, fine, done, finally. I don't mean to suspect you, Erna, but ignoring you would defeat the purpose of what you're trying to accomplish.
I know, that's fine. She moved ahead. Usually, it would have been worth considering that the person who had proposed the arrangement might have had a secret reason, but I knew Erina had been genuine. Sai gently made sure that she hadn't been concealing anything by letting us know that her purse was clean as well. He put an end to our last measure. Personal keys and identification had also been found in her purse. We were specifically searching for hidden keys, so even though it was normal, we all possessed ours. Sai made sure to confirm that their shape didn't match the bedroom's doors.
Good, this went well. Now, doing what I explained should be easy. Inferno?
Because nobody had any complaints. I took a screwdriver out of the drawer and compared it with the screws that kept the door handle attached.
Well, it'll work. It's not a perfect match, but it'll definitely suffice. I wanted to hide the key and the outer handle outside, right? There's not much point to it since the chain will prevent anyone from entering. But can you think of a good place to hide it? I feel that under the cupboard of the bathroom should be enough. As I said, it's not too important. Regarding the handle, there is no great spot that comes to mind, but it'd be pointless to think of one. The attic's full of removable handles, so the culprit could probably unscrew one and use it on the door if they really wanted to open it. In the case that happens, we have the chain to rely on. That sounds fine, yes.
It's not fine.
What if it's not fine at all?
Yeah.
It's
Have you
not
thought
a
of that?
deal. Handle it.
I don't have to think about it. What we need to do is clear. Don't you think? I don't know any time when I go.
You don't want to sing the rest?
No. Is this me? No, this is 7.
Rest.
This is 7.
Okay, I'll read. You also forgot the rest, didn't you?
Not really, but it's not like I can remember the whole song off the top of my head.
From the hallway, we clearly saw Saya leaving the key under the carpet without any kind of trick involved. There it is. Only one thing to do then. We all moved back inside. With a big screwdriver, I removed the 4 screws of the inner handle, which fell on my hands.
It'd be great if we could use this on the storeroom door.
Good.
We should all get ready to face the consequences of this. Don't be surprised if Ashia blows this mere action out of proportions.
We get it. That's fine. They can do what they want.
It's not fine.
It's not fine at all.
Is it me?
No, it's me.
Okay.
I unscrewed the outer handle too and left both of them under the bed of the opposite bathroom. In the door, only one hole became visible. As the keyholes found on the handles themselves, I made sure that the door couldn't be opened through the hole. A very short metal cylinder was poking out, but it was incredibly tight. We weren't going to turn it from the inside. When I was certain, I asked one last time,